How we doing, chat? What is up? Diana, they're talking about actual. Are you talking or Pharma? Are you talking about actual Asia Open or just the Globex Open? Asia Open is 8 p.m. Eastern. Globex Open is 6 p.m. Eastern. What up, Jeepers? Farmer Tala, Trader 007 NQ, Diana. Diana's long on NASDAQ, so you got a pretty nice entry. Expect nothing less. Johnny, Victoria, Omar. I'm hella long on the YM. Omar, I'm interested, but I'm not getting in early. Well, I might get in early at some point, but I'm interested. What up, Yaita? Swift Trade, Raw, Vish. I am long on MNQ. Let's get the charts up. What up, Jake? How you doing, brother? I'm still banger in New York because I was talking to my girlfriend. That's brutal. That is detrimental, honestly. What up, Polar Bear? I'm holding this to 50K. Talking about the YM, Omar. I mean, 180 points isn't much on the YM at all. Are you hiding your pink hair? No, brother. She's still brown. Dude, it's just still too cold in Ohio. Like, I was outside a decent bit today and it was 50 degrees. I look like Eminem. Right, fair. All I gotta do is put a hat on and now I'm Slim Shady. But no, Omar, I'm definitely interested in the YM overall if we can get the daily breakout. The one thing that has me slightly hesitant is just RTY is more so in a range, and YM, we're still in the range. The hardest part about YM is it can stay in the range for multiple days before it wants to finally break out. And with it being OPEX, I'm definitely watching. I'm for sure interested. But it's like, is right now when it's going to break? Is my question. And I truly don't know. It easily can. I mean, I think the best looking charts right now are what are always the best looking. We have NASDAQ, which looks pristine up here if it wants to go take out all time highs again. I mean, we're points away, nothing crazy at all. Today's highs is all time highs. We're right there. And then gold is interesting. I kind of want to see how it reacts to 47.56 on a broader scale. But we have already broken above yesterday's highs, which I'll mark real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little patient this week and just see what overall we're gonna actually start setting up. We have seen a slight rally off the open, which is nice. Usually we don't see it directly off the open, which is also unfortunate. Because at some point, Asia's gonna consolidate. It loves to. We rarely see the first hour trend, then the second hour trend, then the next 4 hour trends. It's just not normally Asia. Gold, I'm in short. Scott, why are you in short on that one? Just curious. Omar, if it hits 50K, you'll take the rest of the week off. Brother, that is 180 points on the YF. How heavy are you? Because 180 points on the Dow Jones is not a lot. Is it like a nice trade? Yeah, but it's not something I'd be like, yeah, I'm taking the rest of the week off. What up, Steph? What up, Hitch? Do you look at VIX futures? No, I just look at VIX. I believe Mitch might look at VIX futures, which is this. No, why did that? Oh, wait. So just VX. And it's something you can look at. For me, I'm just not overly interested. I chart the normal hours VIX, which is just going to be this. And I just base it off of that. So this is the main thing that I'm charting when it in regards to VIX. And I'm just paying attention to the broader pivots, broader levels on it. VIX overnight doesn't really, I've never really used it. But during the intraday sessions, I 100% do. Omar, your max cons on YM. Good luck, brother. You better hope she rips or else you're going to need it. What up, AXP? I had a decent trading day New York session. Last night, we took a break even and a small loss, which I already had lower expectations yesterday. I just traded the wrong names. Gold worked just about 12 hours later, which is how usually gold does with me. Yeah, Raw, if you're talking about YM, the daily definitely looks nice. It just, if it breaks, yes, I can easily see this going up to 50,250 without a question. Like easily, night and day. The problem is YM loves to do this. So it's just waiting, building the patience, seeing, all right, does this actually really look like it's going to make that move? If we get above 870s, I fully believe it can easily make that move. But while we're under it, that's where things can get a little, not even tricky, just more so range bound, like they usually do during Asia. I saw someone ask something. So you were in gold short. Why are you in gold short? What do you think? Took two at previous day's high. The problem for me there is you have almost a full bullish outside bar closing at the highs of the range. For me, if we break this daily high candle, that's like damn near an A plus long setup from what I would look for. Obviously, it'd be better if you can get in lower, but if we get that continuation up towards 48, 4,900, so like 4,900 ish, that's what I would more so be looking for. But also take everything I say with a grain of salt because this doesn't have to hold. Because what are we looking at? I'm looking at the daily perspective of it, where if this daily holds above yesterday's highs, so we go to the lower time frames. If we hold above here, which we're only 3 points above, then we should see continuation. From your perspective with this trade, I can see what you're looking at. If we reject this push back below yesterday's highs, well, we didn't do what we should have done once we broke above. So now we should start to look towards doing the opposite. So I can see the short there with what you're looking at. I'm just not overly in love with it because I can kind of paint a perspective each direction. But I think patience can help a lot today, at least for me in my outlook. Didn't we trigger a weekly buy setup on gold? Did we? No. Weekly's still an inside bar until we're above 4775.2. So until we're above that, no. Also, if you're in here, feel free to like the stream real quick. We are giving away a 50K TPT account. If you like to stream, it helps us get some reach early on in the session, helps us get some more people in here. And I appreciate y'all. So hit the little thumbs up button. Ideally, I'd like to see us around like 175, which really should not be hard for you guys to get at all. But yeah, Scott, everything I say, just take it with a grain of salt, no matter what. Because I feel like today is one of those things where, like, for me, gold looks more bullish, but I feel like we're in a market where you can build perspectives either way on like intra-session. And it's just the number one thing I'll say. What up, Tede? How you doing? You missed bagged on NQ longs and shorts. Beautiful AXP. His palm sweaty. He goes and his palm on his sweater already. Mom spaghetti. Hell yeah. What up, Gamma? How you doing? Elevated. What up, brother? Ribeye, mac and cheese, and asparagus. Brother, I wasn't like I just ate not too long ago. And now all I want to do is try that. That is disgusting. No, Voltru. You you just figured it out because you just made that shit up, my guy. Rake does not come from Ron and Jake. No. Rake was Rake before I even met him. Actually, those that are OG knows Jake's original Discord name, and it was JR. But no, Jake's last name starts with an R. All it did was he just took that letter and put it in front of Jake. And bam, you have Rake. Close though. You almost had it. What up, stock market baby? It's gas, dude. I bet. My problem with beef right now is I took out most of the ground beef my parents gave us from the cow they bought, and now I mainly just have like steaks. So I just have to mass cook steaks. Like, oh my god, it's literally my steaks too juicy type theory. But that's all I have for meat besides like chicken that I buy. Um, Tay, I'm interested in gold longs if we continue to hold above 47.58.4s. Just because that's yesterday's highs. If we look at gold daily chart, it has a lot of my attention because we're setting a daily higher low as long as we hold above this. If we hold above that, where should we in theory head to? 4,800, 4,860-ish, 4,900, I think pretty easily. I mean, it should go pretty easily, but then again, we're talking about me and gold. Nothing I do with gold goes easy. Nothing. Other than that, I'm just paying attention to the indices. I'm a little more on the sidelines with the indices, mainly just because the only like, I mean, the small consolidation bars can play out, right? NQ can break to the upside, ES can break to the upside. YM does have a daily fair to go lower, so like, there's potential. I just don't know if it's going to come this session, so I'm just being cautious of it. But gold definitely has my interest. Oil as well. I drew this earlier when I was just looking at charts because if I see some type of like formation that kind of catches my eye, for me, all I'm doing when drawing this is just looking at the overall trend. It just paints a better picture of it. I don't trade trend lines. Y'all know that. But what are we doing right here? We're potentially setting a little hourly lower high. If we do break down below that, we can look for that retest of 96.75s. So there is some interest there as well. I feel like there's a lot of interesting charts out there. It's just, is it going to break this session? And while the indices are kind of doing this, I'm not overly like, I don't want to play this pullback back into the open. I really don't. Yeah, Peter, gold can definitely rip during this session easily. I mean, it ripped a few days ago during this session as well. But I do like gold. So you don't go to grocery stores. Polar Bear, I do. But my parents buy, like, usually, because we have a concession business where we sell a bunch of like burgers, ribeye sandwiches, stuff like that. So they always have a shitload of beef. When the season's over, they usually just offload a bunch of it onto us because, they don't want it to go bad over the winter. And we take it gladly. Then I still go to the grocery store. I buy everything else at the grocery store. The only thing I just don't buy there is beef. Plus, my stepdad has a problem with going to like the local fairs because that's where they work some of their trailers and buying cows from the auctions. And then we just have a metric ass load of beef that we don't know what to do with. Yeah, Scott. So, and I'm not necessarily, it's like if this works out, it would be more so an A plus. But as we're looking at this, and I'm going to draw a trend line on it just so you can kind of see the overall structure I'd be looking at. So, something like that, where you're looking at this potential breakout. Now, obviously, the trend line's not the A plus setup in the world. But what are we looking at? We're looking at a 4 hour consolidation near the highs of the range. With that consolidation as well, we look at the daily chart. What did the daily do? Initially, it spiked lower. When it broke below this, it should have easily continued lower no matter what. And once it got back above yesterday's lows, then we started to see buying pressure all the way back up to the highs of the range. So we have a failed sell down here, buying all the way up to the highs of the range in which we closed the daily chart. Once we closed the daily chart there, we then immediately broke over yesterday's highs, which, like I said, if we fail, I would lose interest. But a consolidation up here for, let's say, like 2 hours or so to give us this strong 4 hour close would get me interested. If this 4 hour close is weaker, I have zero interest in this chart at all for longs. But it's more so just looking at the 4 hour 4 bar play, quote unquote, breaking out inside of the daily. Now, the reason I like this is if we want to trigger a weekly on this chart, all we need to do is get it above here, I think. So if we get another 20 points, we trigger on the weekly. If we trigger on the weekly, we're above this weekly high. Where do we look at? 4,900. So for me, it's just more so the higher potential of the risk to reward based off the overall structure. And it's, if this happens, so could this. You know what I mean? Like if we do hold up here above yesterday's highs, in theory, we then should go up towards last week's highs, which is only 20 points away. If we get over last week's highs, we're now triggering on the weekly, which then should send us up to that next resistance, which is 140 points away from here. So that's kind of just a broader perspective I look at with a lot of trades. And that's also why I'm willing to hold a lot of trades throughout a majority of the overnight. No, Abraham, I just started for the most part. I mean, I started 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago ish. I'm just looking at charts for now, seeing exactly what I want to do. Because I'm interested on a broader scale for the YM, but then again, it's just, is it going to break this session? Like elevators, LMA's polar bear. Yeah. We do. If you look up County Fair waffles, which, and I know people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, look at the charts." No. So let me see. Apparently, I'm hopping on Pinterest. So these right here are what we make in one of our trailers. They're like little, basically funnel cakes, but they're crispy. So that's what we've done for 8 years in the summers. So like when I'm waffling, when people talk about waffles, that's what I'm working on and that's what I'm making. But now because my stepdad has an addiction to concession trailers, we have 3 trailers and a food truck. All the other ones are like outlaw grills and stuff. Polar bear, they're good, but I did the Hershey factory thesis. And I don't even know if this is true with Hershey, but I've seen things where apparently in your first year of working at Hershey, you're allowed to take home as much chocolate as you want, which I'm sure there's like regulations on it, whatever. But it's because in the end, you eat so much in the beginning that you get sick of it. My first 2 years working in that trailer, I ate so many waffles that I haven't eaten one in 6 years, besides when I went to visit Jake in California. Taya, I'm in Ohio. Is there a trade to even do right now when CPI is tomorrow? Theo, it's just this whole week. We have decent data. And I mean, my expectations are lower right now, like decently lower for this session, which is why I'm okay just talking. Even if we go test yesterday's highs, That is, I mean, on ES, that could be a decent move, 14-ish points. But on NQ, that doesn't really interest me, 40 points. I feel like I have to start lowering my expectations a lot more for this session while I anticipate us to get more to this consolidative state. Baltimore, you're a little ways away, Tay, but I mean, yeah, yeah, the Ravens, they seem to get smoked every year by Cleveland for some reason, but times it'd be like that. I don't even know if you're a Ravens fan. Beef is so expensive. It is. But at the same time, Steph, what a lot of people don't know, and this is this is the luxury of growing up in the country. When you buy like whole cows or half cows, because you can buy half cows, whole cows, quarter cows at the butcher and just have them butchered, or you can buy them at the fair and obviously have them butchered. It comes out to like $5, maybe $6 a pound at most for the entire thing. And that's for your steaks as well. So any steak you get is $6 a pound. So in the end, it's definitely way cheaper to do it that way, but it is a lot more upfront. And you do need a massive deep freezer to hold a cow. That's just how we do it from where we grew up. How'd you check to see if that candle's liquidity sleep on gold? That's why you wait for the 4-hour closure. Not even necessarily the 4-hour closure. It's going to be this is where multi-time frame analysis comes into play. Diego. So like right now on this candle, what I would desperately want to see on this hourly is this little inside bar. As long as we continue to hold this inside bar, then why? Because then we can look for an inside bar break on the next one or just a little bit more of a consolidation for a break later on. And then you just go to the other time frames. You just go to the 15-minute. What would you kind of want to see here? If we consolidate, this can look great for that inside bar. If it breaks higher, we may see some continuation. So just looking at all the perspectives from each and every individual time frame. We just swept these lows, swept below yesterday's highs, and then rallied back. If we can hold up here, this chart's going to look great. If we end up breaking back below yesterday's highs, it'll look weaker. So now it's just where are we going to break directionally within this range? And you just do the multi-time frame analysis between every single time frame to build the thesis. Does this really look like it's going to hold, or does it look like it's going to fail and push back lower? Decided to give prop firms go. Can't figure out how to size down on TradingView. Can you please explain? If I have 5 contracts, how can you only close 2? YouTube tutorials are terrible, all made with AI. Voltru, I would love to help you. I have never traded on TradingView. Not once. What I would assume though is if you right click, and if you think about it, if you're in a position, you could probably click something like this or add order. Well, I don't have anything connected, so I can't do that. But it's got to be something like that. But me personally, I've never traded on TradingView. Never mind. I see someone answered it. Texas, well. Tay, to be fair, I went to the last 2 Ravens games in Cleveland, and they're some of the best games I've watched. Like hands down. Did you ever find that ticket for the potatoes ticker? No, I never found the potato ticker. And I thought chat would actually give it to me, but they never did. Gold had a nice retest of 58 and push up. Yep, I was watching that 59 area. I think I was on this chart when I was watching it, and I was just talking. I'm still wildly open to getting it. I'm not looking at this like if I completely shut up and I'm just staring at a chart, I'm not desperately, but just stalking for an entry. But if I'm just talking, then it's likely me just thinking right now might not be the exact entry. So I don't necessarily need to desperately stare at the chart. Gold's also one of those tickers where if this chart just breaks without me, it is what it is, because that thing mentally abuses me nonstop. Me and that ticker do not get eye to eye. Sometimes during New York, we do fine. But during the Asia session, I still have to figure out how to trade that one correctly. Hell yeah, Jeff. Just trade it slow, brother. You got this. No, Zay, it was exciting right off the rip, but now, because obviously we got a little bit of movement, but now we're just really not doing much. And even that little bit of movement on ES was what, 7 points, which isn't crazy. Voltru, I don't know if someone answered that already, but if someone says flip reverse trade, yes, it would completely open the identical size position, counter your current trade. So if you are like an absolute scalping god in the market, you can just use close and reverse or reverse position over and over. But good luck, because that would stress me the hell out. I've used it before. Yeah, hysteric. It's so worth it when you can actually get a cow at a decent price. It can also be a business expense in general when you buy it at a fair. Because technically you are sponsoring that person in the auction. Diana, I don't even want to know. Because I don't look at beef prices at the store because we got enough fucking beef at the house. Right now, I'm pretty sure I have 150 burgers in my basement and I don't know what to do with them because there's just way too many. Yeah, Victoria, 1000%. Sean, it depends on the session. If I'm in New York, then I want all the time frames being in that direction immediately. If I'm in Asia, I know the charts are going to move slower, especially this week. We have CPI, or I think it's CPI. We got a decent amount of data going on this week alongside OPEX in the end. Asia session, like we're due. I've talked about consolidations for a while. If we consolidate in this range, the one time slot that is going to get the brunt of the force is going to be Asia session. We can still easily slowly trend, but it'll likely be that slow trend. Which, trust me, I want to see this absolutely face rip or absolutely sell off as long as we're in either direction. But right now, I will say the NASDAQ hourly looks really good. I would love if this next 36 minutes could stay a little stagnant. And then we trade that hourly inside bar. Trade this hourly inside bar back up through all-time highs. That would be dream world for me. But this kind of 5 and 15 starting to break already. Not even break, but like set up. So I am paying attention to it. Just seeing, are we going to get that overall continuation? The tricky part is there. Even if I want to take this, I'm drawing it, I'm not in it. But let's say I take this with a stop at the recent low, targeting the highs. It's 1R. Like it doesn't interest me. It truly doesn't. If we get continuation past that, I'm definitely interested. We have gold still sitting in this range, just towards the lower end of the range. Oil looks like it does want to break lower, which is good. If oil breaks lower, we can look along the indices. If we looked along the indices, and this thing, NQ looks phenomenal. Everything else just doesn't look as good. And that's where a lot of my focus is. It's just the other three. They don't have that dog in them right now. And we need them to get that dog in them. And they just ain't got it. Maybe change question, but are you not afraid of electricity cutting off and your freezer will lose power? Or do you have a backup generator? Vulture, it would take a lot for all of that to thaw out because it's in the basement in a deep freezer. I would have to lose power for days on end. We lost power the other day in the beginning of streams for 30 hours, 32 hours, somewhere in there. And nothing changed. You got to remember, it's a deep freezer with basically a bunch of giant ice blocks in it. It's going to take a while to thaw out. But no, I mean, we've lost power already 3 times this year. So it's not something I'm overly worried about. But yeah, the freezer full of meat will be perfectly fine. It's just if you sit there and open it and close it every 10 minutes, like people do with their fridge, that's when everything starts to go bad. Whenever I trade a full size contract, what instrument would you feel comfortable with? The instruments I'm comfortable trading a full size contract with is basically everything except NQ and gold. Because fuck both of them. Just wholeheartedly. And also the risk perspective. If I'm trading NQ, like normally, I'm going to go, let's say, a 30-point stop loss. If I trade one full NQ contract, that's $600. For those of you that know me, know that's more than I want to risk on any given trade. Whereas ES, I can risk 5 points. One contract is $250. That's nothing crazy. What win rate do you target? I don't target a certain win rate, brother. I target risk to reward, but just higher quality setups. Now, there are times I don't take the greatest setups, and y'all have seen it. Some of y'all have called it out and be like, I don't fully agree with it. And you know what? You were right. Fuck me. But it just be like that sometimes. But for me, it's more so the broader perspective of the high, not even like the better risk to reward, but just the higher probability of the setup working. But the last thing I really focus on is just like I don't look at something and say I need to take this trade to improve my win percentage, you know? Don't take a trade till you know how to use your broker setup. Beautiful. Well said, Enigma. What up, Jay Sullivan? How you doing? Tay, I used TradeZella for a while. I did. I haven't used it in a long time because in like at a certain point, I know the mistakes I need to work on after using it. And also I had the annual thing. I didn't feel like paying like $500 for the year on it when it was about to rebill. And it's just I didn't use it enough. I really didn't. But I know pretty much what setups I'm looking for the most part. Whether I need to be patient. Like I can look back at the end of a trade and know, did I use too much size? Was I not patient enough? Like what did I do wrong on this in the end? And I usually like to review things right after they happen. And I'll just do it straight up on the chart on the market. If I get in a big funk, I'd probably go re-up on TradeZella, log all my trades and see, all right, what the hell am I actually doing? Most of the time, though, I'll just lose a few trades and then be patient and I'll find the next trade. Welcome to the Pump and Dump Administration. Yes, sir. Took a lucid flex. Isn't there a big difference between flex and pro? There is, Jeff. The main thing with that is just simply going to be the consistency and where you get the consistency. Lucid flex, you get the consistency on the eval, which is 50% consistency, and means your biggest day can't be more than 50% of your total target, your profits. So if you have to make 3K, you just can't have one day over 1,500, and that's the biggest difference. With the pro, right? That's the other one, the pro. Yeah, the pro, it's a consistency on your funded account, which I don't like. I'd rather have consistency on the eval than on the funded. Something I like to pay attention to in the Asia session is the ES and NQ 2-minute charts. When we start getting these gaps in the more so blocky structure on these charts, and those of you that have been trading with me for a while know what I'm looking at, I don't like it because that usually means drastically lower volume overall, which causes these individual candles to get gaps. Because if we go back to something, maybe even yesterday, it didn't do it. It did it a little bit, but not as much. You get a lot more fluid chart right here versus what we're kind of getting today, where you just look at it immediately can see that blockiness setting up. So that I don't love. But we'll see if we end up getting more volume overall. It's not going to prevent me from trading. It just makes me less interested. It's oil daily. Oil daily could set a lower high. You'd love to see it pull back to 389 on NQ. So about 60 points. Oh, back to basically back to last week's highs, right? Gold rips today. Good. I mean, gold is set up to do it. Gold is fully set up to rip if it wants to rip. Told you it's ready. I've been watching gold for over a week now. I've been stalking the overall move on gold for a while. How do you determine that a certain higher time frame candle should do a certain thing, consolidating versus moving? It's just honestly getting familiar with the charts and the overall structure and just looking at what currently happened within the market. Like, why do I think we could see a bit of a consolidation this week? Well, I mean, just look at the fucking NQ. And the way I do this, and I've said it a few times, I say we should consolidate multiple times. I said it like down here, which we consolidated a little bit, doesn't really matter. Said it here, and then we ripped. But I just look at everything like it's a 5-minute chart where I look at this. If this is a 5-minute chart, am I looking to enter here? No. If I wanted to, what would I want? More of a pullback or a broader consolidation? So that's kind of just what my perspective goes to. For the most part, in this kind of market, I've been ignoring the daily chart and just focusing more on the 4-hour and let's say the hourly. Because if you look at the daily, you're going to think, oh my God, we need a desperation pullback consolidation. But if you just put more emphasis on the 4-hour where we've consolidated since Friday, we could easily see a continuation break on this and it would look beautiful on this chart. So I've just been taking a lot of emphasis off the daily charts on the indices for now. Tay, I mean, for me, it's not even, I wouldn't even really say you need a certain amount of years of experience to mentor people on trading. First off, I would just say like proven track record. But the main thing a lot of people should understand is not everybody's a teacher. Not everybody's an educator in the end. There's a lot of people who can be very good at trading and can't teach at all. And there's people who might be absolute shit at trading, but could teach people how to trade very well. And it's just a completely different perspective than overall trading. It's like you actually have to be able to understand how people learn and how people teach. And it's just resonating with people on a personal level. But that's not really like you'll know when you can. Like you'll know how well you can talk about it. If you can teach someone how to understand and view a chart at a very simplistic level, then it should be pretty easy to go from there. What's your default size for an NQ trade? And do you trade less size? Yeah, I trade way less on NQ. NQ, I usually trade 4 micros, maybe. I don't trade a lot on NQ at all. What up, Corey? Can you get paid 3K on 50K Lucid account twice if you make 5K profit? If you're talking about the Lucid Flex, you can make 2K each payout. Yeah, XP. I'm just NQ is not something that I trade out. Like I can go if I'm absolutely dialed and I absolutely like I love a trade, I can use 2 minis on ES without a problem. Because I've traded ES for 5 years. NQ, I just don't trade a lot at all. So with NQ, the volatility in general, I just don't like it. I don't like that it'll spike 40 points in one direction and stop me out. But also, it's probably from in the past just using too much size on it. But ES is my bread and butter. That I would have no problem using minis on if I truly wanted to, and I truly love the setup. Just NQ for me, I'm using smaller size. Same thing with gold. Any hints for prop firm accounts at all? Jeff, take it easy. Take it slow. Remember, there's rules for you to follow in a sense. Though it's kind of like the speed limit. The daily, like the time slot rules are like the speed limit, right? It's a recommendation in the end. And I know people hate me saying that, but it is, especially out here. It's just you don't have to try to chase the payouts fast. You don't have to pass the accounts fast. I know someone, and he might be in here that I've worked with, that had an eval for multiple months. To me, having an eval for multiple months is way more impressive than passing it in one day. Because if you pass it in one day, for 98% of people, you just yeeted it into the sun and it worked. But if you're able to keep it alive for multiple weeks, months, right? Doesn't even have to be months, just weeks, then it's great. It's likely what you'll do with the funded account as well. I always just say take it slow. I don't think people should be full sending evals unless you are in like Jake's perspective or you are overly consistent in the end. Appreciate you, Rafi. I don't know if I said that right, but Rafi sounds kind of cool. No, I've never used that personally. I don't know what Ninzarenko charts are. I don't. Thank you. 2 white soldiers on the 5. Huh? Isn't that like a reversal pattern? Gold is really trying to break here, and the buyers are starting to push it pretty well. Remember, I think gold's volatility is going to come back in force like it has been before. Because usually when gold buys, you see this kind of volatility where it just continues, consolidates for a few days, and then just face rips. I think we're going to get that gold back. And that definitely interests me a lot. But it also requires either a lot of patience or some really fucking wide stops. Market slow due to tomorrow's news? Yeah, usually. Do we have any news to be worried about? Yes, Cole, we do. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Let me pull it up. News-wise, what we got is CPI tomorrow, bright and early, 8:30 in the morning. Good luck if you're in a trade, because in theory, gas is $5 a gallon. Inflation should be a little hot, but we'll see. And then we have PPI Wednesday, and then Thursday, I wouldn't even say is like hot, but just retail sales. Retail sales can have an impact, but they're usually not a broader impact. What up, Rye? What chart was the yellow box on, brother? Because I have them on a lot of charts. Usually they're just daily resistance levels. or resistance areas. On gold, that is this broader pivot, which is like this 700, 740s area, right? 700s. Same thing down here at 540s. I just look at the broader pivots on the 4-hour charts and I like to mark them out. Those are so that way when I'm sitting here looking at, let's say, a 5-minute, if we're in that area, I can kind of see, and you can see how well we respected it when we were within inside of it. That might have also been, that was our range from last night too. Yeah, I just forgot to delete that one. Full transparency. That was the range from last night that I wasn't looking to trade until we got outside of. So those are those as well. But usually they're daily pivots for me, unless I forget to delete them from that night. What up, Andre? What up, Trade Wop? How y'all doing? Good back to 47.70. Yeah, at that point, Cole, I'd be like, if 47.70 isn't something that would really interest me. Like, if I'm looking at gold, I want 4,800 to 4,850 to 4,900. Like, that is the trade I'd be looking at in this. I don't really like to take smaller trades. I mean, I do, but it's just if the conviction's there and I think that's all it's going to give me, I'll do it. But for the most part, I'm usually looking for like the broader trades in the market, which it's usually I trade less because of it. No, Hassan, I'm watching options trades. I didn't take any today. I wasn't like overly interested. I was around the market a decent amount, but I was just playing around with futures intraday. What up, Big Austin? How you doing? I did see that the rotation started. We were talking about Microsoft saw an initial rally, I think, or no, gap down the end of day rally. Trying to see if we get buying pressure on something like Microsoft. Because if that does, then I think the market can structurally hold a lot longer. Yeah, hysteric. I believe Tradeify is like that as well now, where it's a one-time fee for the eval, which is the greatest. AXP, that's a really good perspective I didn't think about between those two, where you can move your stop to break even a lot faster with NQ. It makes sense. ES does love to base, but it usually bases pretty well where you expect it to. Whereas NQ will always get those random volatile ass wicks. At least with me, because I usually have tighter stops on it, that'll wick me out and then rip. What's my preference when volatility kicks in? When volatility kicks in, I just size down. Size down a little bit, widen your stops, widen your targets. There's volatility. The price action is exactly the same. Where people struggle when volatility is present is, let's say VIX gets up to 25. What's going to happen? A 60-point move on ES at that point is an everyday occurrence. It's not crazy. Where people really struggle is they try to trade the ES the exact same when VIX is at 25 versus it being at 17. There's a massive difference in volatility there. Like, massive. You have to look at the overall moves that are going to happen on the underlying chart based off of where VIX is currently at. If VIX is at 25, I have no problem using a 10-point stop on ES. If VIX is at 15, you can go as tight as like a 2-point stop every single day on ES. I base my overall structure of my trading on not only the overall market and the setups, but VIX as well. It's just, then the problem more so isn't when VIX is down here. Because what will happen is VIX will go from 25, where it was, down to 17, where it kind of is now. And people will have these massive perspectives like, oh my God, ES should still be going 70 to 100 points in a day. It's not. Volatility is drastically increased. You have to manage your expectations off of it. Same thing with the complete opposite. When VIX rips to 30, you're going to need wider stops. Volatility is going to be in. Bearish pressure is going to be more like here in more force, which is going to cause the volatility and uncertainty. So you just have to understand the market that we're in. Yeah, VIX over 25. Even AXP's trading MNQ and not mini. And that man's swinging 4 NQ for 600 points. I should say it. But no, volatility, when it comes in, I love volatility. And that's when there's opportunities for some really nice moves and sharper moves. You just have to size for it. And too many people don't. And that's a bigger issue with trading in general. People will use the exact same position sizing for every single trade when it can be reasonable. But for me, I'm going to base it off the overall structure and the overall market. If you take the exact same position size for every single trade, you're usually going to get cooked for the most part if you don't just wait for the exact same setup every single time. That should make sense. MU is taking Microsoft. What's that mean, Bands? Like, what exactly do you mean by that? Ron Quavy is still the craziest name. Oh, taking demand from Microsoft. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Also, at the exact same time, glad I didn't enter any of the fucking indices. Gold still looks decent. Still looks like it could easily go. We're just getting this very, very slow trend up. So it's not going to interest me a whole lot. There's a chance, though, when it does break, if it gets the buying pressure it needs over, let's say, 68 to 70, it could rip back up towards 800. There's just a higher likelihood I won't be in that move unless we get a better setup. Because I just don't love this slowly kind of trickling upwards. I don't like that kind of price action. But it can still easily work. Cool. That's valid. That's valid. But for me, if I'm looking at 70, like that trade isn't really, it's not going to be overly worth me getting in unless I get a really nice entry down at like 55, 57 ish, maybe even 58. Then I'd be like, all right, I could take that with a tighter stop. Just like anywhere in this area, it's not something I'm going to be dire to get in. What do you think gold can go overnight? I mean, if it's a big if, but like if buyers keep stepping in on this, if we can get back over 800. Because as we look at this chart, first off, what did I just move? Is there a little tiny thing here somewhere? There is. Um, if you just look at this 4 hour, and I'm going to draw these boxes, but then I'll get rid of them after because I don't want to just flood my chart with it. If you look right here, you can see how big of a resistance this was that we fought. Fought it back here, fought it here as well. Now we're fighting it all of this. If we get over that, I would target the next one. That's the way I like to trade. I like broader resistances as my overall targets. That'd be around 800. If we get above that, where would you kind of look for then? Just look and try to follow the resistance. And it can be honestly anywhere in this area. It's just, this is just a bigger consolidation area. It's just, for me, first target would be like 800s on this if I was in gold. And that might not get there tonight. But I do think there's potential. It's a big if, though, if the market wants to get enough buying pressure to put it up there. Jeepers. So I don't use the 15-minute orb, but it's pretty straightforward if you're just trading consolidations. Because that's all it is. You're taking a certain increment of range and you're trading the break outside of it, is what orb is. And I could do that with this. If I wanted to, I could look at ES here. I could mark this low, this high. Once we break outside of this little range, I might be interested, you know? But I don't just take the first 15 minutes of price action and trade outside of that. I'll just look at the broader structure and see kind of what it's telling me and take trades off that. What's your take on NQ? Are we going to continue to go higher, lower, or sideways? Could be any of them in full reality. But NQ is the strongest index by far. My whole theory on this is go up until it quits going up. And that's exactly what I look for. We do have a really nice daily consolidation. You look at the 4 hour, we've consolidated since Friday. We moved up a little bit, like 100 points, but we're still consolidating within this general area. Hourly's consolidating as well. I don't expect a massive move overnight. If it does happen, it does. I think it would be later on versus in this session, which is just something we got to live with, right? We got data in the morning. We have to see how the market reacts. For me, if we continue this, it's just going to be a lot of sit on hands. Andre usually, is it Andre or Andrea? There's no A at the end, so it's Andre. Got it. Rewrite it. Understand it. Andre, when I'm looking at it, I usually pick a lot size for that day. I'll look at the day, look at the price action, see if I'm really interested. If I am, I'm willing to trade up to, let's say, 15 mini or 15 micros. If I'm not, I'll trade like 5. Like if I'm looking to just trade for, let's say, the love of the game, not put a whole lot of risk on, it's a move where, like, if this happens, it could, but it's not overly high probability. I cut my size in by 60%, 70%. When I show trades and I'm like, this could happen, but like I'm not overly confident in it, I'm reducing size drastically. Yeah, I size trades based on VIX, based on structure in the market, everything. XP, that makes a lot of sense because I know a lot of people, as VIX was getting crushed lately, were like insanely complaining about the wickiness on VIX. Not on VIX, on MNQ. Gold for the win. Did it hit 70? It ripped a little. There you go. I was waiting for the Asia Open to see if we got that, but we're getting that really strong push on the hourly, which makes sense. I was trying to give the market the 8 minutes. Oil still looks weak, which is good for gold. How many of you guys are in gold? I feel like there's probably a few of you. What up, ATZ? Maxwell, at this point, it would just be a lot more waiting on gold if I was looking for any entry. Gold is just not an asset that I trade a lot personally. And I like fully knowing how that the assets move for the most part, which is why I love trading ES, YM, because I focus on those a lot. But I also think I wasn't interested in this price action because we continued to reject the highs. If we pulled back towards like yesterday's highs and retested it, I would have been willing to take a stab. But the one candle it did, I wasn't looking at this chart. So for now, it'll probably just be patience. Nice, Cole. I'm happy you were able to get that loss back. Also, nice trading after it. Because usually when a lot of people take a bigger loss, they just don't do well. But no, it sounds like you have the right mindset for it. Vulture, that's going to be something, once again, I can't answer. I've never traded on TradingView. If chat can help you with how to set a stop loss or a take profit, feel free. But for me, I can't. I literally have no knowledge on the subject. I haven't even paper traded on TradingView. Shorting gold due to hard rejection. Fisher, you're shorting gold up here. Were you the one that shorted gold at the highs? No. There was someone else with a very similar profile that shorted gold at yesterday's highs. Trying a trade idea on MES, going to play for a bounce off 3. I've never heard of someone using the 300 EMA. What time frame you use the 300 on? That just sounds fucking nutty. By the way, later on, we are doing a TPT giveaway. For me to do that, it's a 50K account. All you gotta do is like the stream. Currently at 72 likes, over 200 viewers. Math ain't math in there. Hit the little thumbs up button. Show some love. Help us get some growth on the channel. But no, once we get up around, I'm aiming at like 175. We get 175 likes. I'll run it. If not, I'll just do it towards the end of the stream. Yeah, cool. I mean, the thing is also, whoever's the person trading on TradingView, just make sure you understand the broker before you start putting on actual risk in it. Who wants to poly market that I won't win the giveaway? AXP, I will full port every account I have that you won't win the giveaway and then delete your entry. I'll make it work. Or I'll pick you solely as the winner. I'll delete everybody else except for you. The odds on that would pay. The 233 EMA is the bomb. You know, there's probably people out there that use that, like the 233, what are the other fib numbers? The 618, the 707s. One thing I love about fibs too is you'll have 5 different people draw fibs and they'll all have different numbers on them. And you can solely tell that I learned this fib from Brett Simba. Because you have the 707 to the 618 all shown in gold for the GP. Did you switch it to Wumbo? You just got to flip it over. Instead of mini, you change it to Wumbo. Also, Zay, I can tell you right now, my brain is like mentally unstable. Because Saturday, I had the bright idea to completely cold turkey nicotine. And dude, that was a terrible decision. Absolutely terrible. Yeah. I literally ran out and I was like, I don't feel like going to the store. So I think this would be a good time. Let's just not do it anymore. Went from like a can a day of Zins to just nothing. That explains the hat. What do you mean? The hat's because I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I'm not fixing my hair. Fuck it. We're putting a hat on. Hardest thing ever to put down. Yeah. RM. That's why I've used nicotine since I was like 16 years old. But I've quit Zins for like a year before. For me, it's just, I was also, my resting heart rate was probably 10 BPM higher than it normally was just because of how much I was. Hard shit to quit. I just chew pouches now. I used to chew, and then I went to actual tobacco pouches. Then I went to Zyn. For me though, I have to full cold turkey, and it's not easy. Like my head has felt like shit for 2 days, but I know life could be a hell of a lot worse. Like, there's a lot worse things, and the number one thing, the way I feel like it helps for a lot of people, because like I've quit in the past, but I've quit tobacco, which was a lot harder than just pure nicotine. And for me, it's replacing the habit instead of just quitting it. And you have to figure out something to replace it with. I have 3 packs of gum next to me. Earlier, when I got like the feeling of wanting to do it, I just went outside and started doing yard work. You just got to find something to distract yourself when you get the cravings. And like RM said, it's like the first 72 hours or the first week, in all honesty, depending how much nicotine you use. After the first week, it's not as bad. But no, it's not fun. I can straight up tell you, it's not. I just have to quit things cold turkey when I do it. Because even if I get like the littlest, like if I buy a can, I'm like, "Oh, I'll do one a day." I won't. That's something I don't have discipline over. I'll be honest. I don't have it there. Nothing I can do about it. What up, Joe? Mine was winnow green lifesavers. Is that an actual thing? Because that could be genius. Ali, I do as well, but that's also why right now, like if I get a really bad craving to put one in, I'll go work out because we have like a barbell in the basement. I'll go lift for 10 minutes. It is 10 minutes going to do shit? No. But it's going to prevent me from go standing in front of the fridge and just absolutely stuffing my face with shit. Those are my substitutes. That's smart. But no, I usually just try to find stuff to do. But what up, Joe? How you doing, Gael? Hopefully better. Hopefully. Also, I couldn't be happier not taking any trades. I would have been interested in gold to 800. Probably wouldn't have trimmed in the slightest with this move. Probably really wouldn't have been interested at all to trim. And so that's actually makes me feel pretty good. And one thing I will say, because yesterday, when obviously the one guy, me and him chirped each other for whatever, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I'm so happy I kept composure during that. Because, dude, if you, the day you quit nicotine and someone tries to fuck with you within 24 hours, you are so on edge. Like, so on edge. For me, that's why I paused in the beginning. So I'm like, wait a minute. Just hold yourself. I definitely wasn't like mad, but I just knew if he said like something dumb, it would have irritated me way more than it should have. It usually takes a lot to like actually get me mad in general. Zachary, 2 cans a day is fucking diabolical. Now, Jeepers, it was just someone yesterday. I don't know if you were here for it. No one in here's really like those of you that I know in here don't rage bait. Well, you do, but in a completely different way. You guys rage bait like absolute dicks. Your hat blends in with the chair. Are you trading PO3 hourly? Huh? I know that's probably rage bait from Corey, but I don't even know what the fuck it means to be rage bait. What's PO3? My hat does blend in with the chair. I want a new chair. Secret Labs, if you're listening to this for some reason, some way, can you sponsor your boy? Yeah, Trade Bop. You can also look up what John Jones did before fights. It's definitely a mentality thing. Like it's good in like nicotine is great in small doses. But I know I wouldn't have small doses. I always told myself I would do it in small doses. My background, pray for this old man, pray for your concrete. No, Mitch, that was just me one upping you. There's no shot I do that. But so you said PO3. You replied power of three. What is that line on the hourly open? Right here. That's the Globex Open, brother. That's all it is. Just where we opened is 6 p.m. Eastern. So just the open of this session. NQ cooking. NQ is cooking itself. Oil has a lot of interest though. Like if oil gets above the open, all I know is I'll take today for being patient because a lot of the theory was just long until you're wrong, and I didn't want to do it. I just really didn't. Mitch, you got a fan? Mitch needs a lot of fans. Like y'all, Mitch drops heat. Has anyone tried smelling salts? I've used smelling salts before. But no, Rye, actually what I use if I need to focus and it's crazy, I don't even know what this stuff says. I don't. It's from Thailand and it's like a mix of herbs. It is Yeah, it's just like a big mix of herbs. But I got it on Amazon. Big Austin. There's one that I have. I think it's like whoever made it made one for Jake as well. So there's an account out there. I just don't remember what it's called. Oh, what is it called? The herbs. Um, I don't know if y'all can actively see that, but like I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that, my guy. The herbs are menthol, camphor, borneol, eucalyptus, and other herbs. I don't know. I've had that thing for like 8 years. Hor- Fuck you, Mitch. Fuck you. But no, I just got it on Amazon. It's like a little smelling salt from Thailand, I believe. Expiration 6/27/2024. Shit. Might have to get a new one. Catnip, basically. Probably. I got my concentration herb in my pocket next to my lighter. That makes me not concentrate. John Jones is a beast. He is. Nicotine is actually good for task focus. It's a nootropic. It is. And that's what I would use as a coping mechanism when I was doing it. Is, oh my God, I need to focus on this task. Throw in nicotine. Hour later, oh my God, another task. Nicotine. Second, I take that one out. Oh my God, I'm going to go do this task. Nicotine. And that was my entire day. Literally smoke crack before games. There's a lot of people like that. Are you chewing nicotine gum? No, Zach, it's just gum. It's just that magical 5. I've never tried nicotine gum. But like I said earlier, when I quit something, I have to full cold turkey it. It's just I've never done stuff to like wean off of it or in that aspect. Like when I quit actually, when I did actual tobacco, I used sunflower seeds, but that's it. Miss those 5 commercials, dude. The 5 commercials were goaded. We should make one with trading. What it feels like to chew 5 gum. It's just you just hear stop filled liquidated right after. Then the long end cute, so I'm wrong. Interested for sure. Watching it off last week's high in the open. Pouches are dangerous, Wop. The pouches are dangerous. And like I don't have a problem doing them at all. But I know for a fact if I take a 48-hour break and you get withdrawal feelings, I got a fucking problem with it. So that just tells me I need to take a bigger break no matter what. I'm not, I don't know. I don't, I'm not in love with a long. Problem is the hourly just opened. If we get back above last hourly low, which is 436 on ES, I could see it. But the charts they don't look great. Gold's still holding up fine. But like these don't look wonderful. I'm definitely open to stabbing a trade, just not yet. What's official, Mitch? You buy the giant cases from Costco. Zach, are there cases of Zins in Costco? Or are you talking about gum? What up, Sydney? Yeah, Zach, I definitely didn't. There's cases of Zins. Yeah, no. If you're also going through 2 cans a day, you have a problem. I went through 1 a day and I had a problem. 2 is diafucking-bolical, dude. That is insane. 3 milligram, though, same thing I do, though. One can is like 3 days for me. Yeah, just wait, big Austin. You'll get there. You'll get there. It's an unfortunate hole that everybody goes into. You said gold held previous week high. Oh, yeah, that was right at 75, right? 75.75 or 74.75. Hang on, we looked at it. High 75.2. Okay. 75.2, so right there. All right, we have all 4 indices near the open. Problem is I don't like the 4-hour charts at the moment. Hourly could be lower highs or higher lows, so it's more of that neutral perspective. Euro SIGs in general do not count. AJ, we're talking about Zins and nicotine. And like how much of a degenerate everybody is. You did 2 a day, trade 2 cans a day, or like just 2 Zins a day? Or 2 pouches? Bite someone's nose off. How do I see that on this, but I don't see it in here? Hang on. For some reason, it just wasn't showing me Gandhi's message. It put me on top chat and said, this chat doesn't make the cut, and just didn't show it. Luckily, I got you on the other monitor too, or else I would have seen it. Oh, 2 pouches, them rookie numbers. Nah, Gandhi, if you ran out, just take 2 days off. See what happens. See how absolutely horrible you feel in general. Was there anyone else's messages that weren't showing? Might end up in jail. Some people just need it for the mental sanity. I also get like the overall dopamine rush when I don't take it. I don't know what it is, what the reason behind it. But like if I go 24 hours without it, it hits, and I don't know why. Zachary, so much energy. But I will say the one thing that sucked is today was the slowest day I've had in probably the last 6 months. I sit by the computer probably like an hour before stream, do some stuff, look up some stuff, and work a little bit. Bro, I swear to God, I felt like I was sitting here for 4 hours waiting for that 1 hour to pass. But no, you definitely have way more energy. It's the dipping tobacco that I love. Wish it was legal here. Interesting trade, Bob. Yeah, for that stuff, for me, it was when I was younger that I was hooked on it. I'm stalking the indices here. So we have oil that had a decent rejection of the open from below. 15-minute looks pretty weak. The indices, if they catch some buying pressure in this general area. I don't love the 15-minute closes, but they're just because they close weaker doesn't mean we can't reverse that candle. All right, so my whole thesis at the moment, if we hold this area, I am interested in a long back towards the high of the day or the high of the session. However, what I personally want to see is a break outside of this 15-minute candle for any conviction whatsoever. I'm not going to long back into this bearish 15-minute candle that closed at the low of the sessions on every single index. If it reverses without me, I won't be in a trade. I won't. I want to see what I want to see with that 15. If it doesn't set up, I'm not taking it. There's a chance we do hold the low end of the range and make our way back higher. Back when Grizzly was affordable. Yeah. Dyson. I mean, the number one thing you're going to want to do is first, if you can trade crypto, unless you're trading like small coin crypto and meme coins, I would learn price action. If you actually know price action, it should be easy. Main thing you're going to do is either go to Lucid or Tradeify. Both, if you do exclamation point, those in the chat, the links will pop up to use those. Use code RAKE to get you cheap. It's like 40% off on each. And then just trade it. Trade it small, look up the rules, understand how overall to trade them, and then just rock with it. For me, I love the Tradeify Flex or Tradeify Growth, and then I love the Lucid Flex are my two favorite accounts. Which is interesting because I don't love consistency on fundeds. But Tradeify Growth kind of has that. Might scoop some NQ for 29,750 by CPI, looking for an entry at yesterday's New York Open. Oh, you want to target 29,750? I thought you were looking for 29,750. I was like, what are we talking about here? All right, so YM did break that low. So did RTY. So we have a slight divergence there. 2 did break that session lows to sweep the 15-minute candle. There's a chance that's enough. YM, if I did 30 points, which is a crazy tight stop on the YM. Because the thing is, right now, nothing's strong intra-session. Like, there's no relative strength or weakness between the 4 indices. This move, obviously, NQ saw a harsher pullback, but they're all right around the open. So there's not really a big divergence. What's oil doing? Oil's pushing lower. All right. So if we take that, we take the negative correlation based off of that. Should easily be able to take somewhat of a potential entry here, just based off the risk to reward parameters, and oil being a bit weaker. I'm not in, but I'm watching. Jake, you trading it? Dude, gold has been hot at night. It has been. It's just been straight trends. No, just chilling. Dude, teach me how to trade gold. Every time I trade it, I get fucking stopped. I have not learned that asset yet, and it pisses me off so much. Because I go to trade it like I trade ES, and it will not work. Because the volatility is just so much more. Is Yankew bear flag on the 5-minute not a good setup? Could be. If we continue to hold below the open 1,000%. That's why I'm not in. Like right now, the chart is still technically weaker. However, I'm looking at the negative correlation between the indices and oil. If oil does continue pushing lower, 15 did reject the open, pushing lower as well. If that continues, then we should start to see the indices catch some buying pressure. We have a slight divergence there between RTY and YM, which swept the lows. NQ and ES did not. NQ did on the 5-minute, which is okay, but not on the 15. So for me, it would be more of like a slightly higher risk, higher potential R to R on the setup that I would take. It's not something that I'm like, oh my God, this is max size, have to enter here. It'd just be the risk of, are we going to hold the open? If we get back above the open, I'd be interested. Which I long 30 minutes ago, you and me both. I know a decent amount in the chat did long. But if oil does get back up towards the open, I'm not interested in longs. So we got to keep an eye on that as well. Pushing lower. So far, I'm still cash. Gold is so bipolar to me. Dude, I don't know if I just need to give up on gold, but lately, at least for my trading, I would rather trade oil than gold. I trade oil better than I trade gold, and it makes no sense because oil is way more volatile than gold. Appreciate you, Trade Wop. My only qualm with the YM is I feel like when I'm looking at the YM now, I'm looking for that big trade. Yeah, Carlos, cash just means I have no positions at all. Trust me, if I take, like, I was stalking if we were going to hold there off of that 15-minute sweep low because we didn't get all four. If we got all four and held aggressively, I'd be interested back over the open. However, we didn't. So when you start to see that, that's the divergence. At that point, RTY and YM did sweep the lows and push back above. Now it's a game of, are those going to hold? Are those going to give enough buying pressure momentum to push ES and NQ higher? And if not, then ES and NQ will likely push them lower. So far, we're pushing lower a little bit. Oil's catching a bit of a bid, nothing aggressive. I just feel like right now, unless you shorted the indices, the only real move was that gold move. And even if I was in gold, we still wouldn't have hit the target I wanted. So I'd probably be in it right now, questioning if I should get out based off of what the indices and oil are doing. I just wouldn't be having a good time. Where it gets interesting, though, is if we break last week's highs, which we just did on NQ, into data tomorrow. Because if we do hit data and we do push back lower, God, I hate move. I got to delete some of this stuff. But the problem is, what I usually do is if we set a higher low or a lower high on the weekly chart, I delete everything outside of that. I just want you like this to be known. On ES, we can currently pull back 14.3% and still set a higher low on the fucking weekly chart. That is ridiculous. And NQ is like 29%. But no, right now shorts do look like the move. I don't love shorting all-time highs. I think there's an opportunity to short. For me, yeah, I guess the lower high structurally makes sense. I'm going to see if there was an actual setup that I would have loved here. Because to me, if I'm looking at NQ, I'm looking at this chart. We're consolidating just below all-time highs on the hourly inside bar. If I'm really looking for a position to take, I'd be looking for the break of this inside bar towards the highs. So if we break towards the lows, I'm fine being cash. ES did have a 4-hour lower high, or hourly lower high, probably a 4-hour as well. No, just hourly. So ES, I could see the perspective there based off the hourly lower high, looking for that trade. Just on the NQ, I don't. But I can definitely see it on ES, RTY. YM was a little bit stronger, but more of a consolidative aspect there. Yeah, I don't think I would have caught that short anyway. Just because none of the structures like scream to me. Like if I'm trading, and yes, can the short be a decent entry if you look at the 5 or 2 minute? Yeah, little H patterns, stuff like that you can look for. But for me, I always have the broader perspective in mind. If we're in this aggressive of an uptrend, I want at least like a 4-hour lower high. Back when we shorted here, was it here? We shorted somewhere. I don't know. No, it was probably back here. We had a 4-hour lower high at some point last time I actively shorted intraday. And that was why I was okay with it. But like for this, I would want some type of mid to higher time frame structure to give me conviction on it to take it. Other than that, I'm likely just going to sit cash for my overall position. 4 minutes left. Let's see what this 15 can do for us. YM really didn't sell off as aggressive. Like you see these have way more aggressive, like aggressive, consolidative, aggressive. Same thing on NQ and RTY. YM had this initial aggressive, but then just kind of slowly trickled sideways. We're at this area. Out there. It's an area I'm definitely interested in seeing how we react to. We're that close to last week's highs. Mm, 15 is. I'm going to take a long entry on YM. There's a chance I get stopped. I'm willing to take this one fully. 80, probably throw a slightly tighter stop at 50. Oh my God. Yeah, that's insanely tight. So you have a pretty solid stop at 50 that I'm going to be using. Obviously, you put a stop wherever you want to put a stop. But for me, I am taking a long stab on the YM with this pattern here. Kind of just where we're sitting, holding the 15-minute, speculating what could happen a little bit back to the upside here, which I'm perfectly fine with. But I did take a small long on YM. I got in at 81. If we do slam lower, take out the lows, like I said, my stop is tight. Like I think I'm risking $150. And a 31-point stop on the YM is like a 4-point stop on ES. For perspective, I don't even like that target. I mean, you could target the highs. I don't even like that. Because 90's not crazy. I'll leave it there for now. Which way you guys feeling on the market right now? You guys think we keep dropping, or you think we're gonna hold here? Oil's fighting the open, which is interesting. So that could fail this pretty quick if it wants to. I like long. I like the potential of it, especially because I was looking at more so the 15 in the end. Looking for that 15 to get the buying pressure back up for the fail to go lower. If it doesn't, it's more so just the lower doji holding this prior little support. It's not a crazy support, which is why I'm not going aggressively sized on it. Do you trade prop firms? I do. Most futures I trade are prop firms. Options I trade my own live capital. Two nine, 262 level on NQ. 262. So basically, yesterday's New York lows is down around there. Yeah. I see what you're looking at for sure. However, we're setting that lower wick on the 15, which gets a lot of my interest. I mean, if we fail this, I'm fine with it. I'm willing to take the stab. Like I said, I'm risking $150. If that impacts anyone's prop firms, then or anyone's account in general, it's just way too much size. One thing I don't love is oil holding here, though. I'll keep watching. I'm content. In all honesty, I'd be open to like moving a stop way wider, but just for this trade, I'm not. Gold retest. We trying to do 4756. I don't know if I would want gold all the way down there. It can get down there, but it would look a lot better if it didn't, you know? Hell yeah, little Melty. Love to see you doing well, brother. Mod US. I just took the long off the 15-minute with the lower wick there. It's nothing. It's more of like I wouldn't say it's slight speculation, but it can be looked at that way. It's just if we do end up holding here, in which I was longing off the little support that I saw, if we get back above the open, that's where I'd get a lot of interest. I'm taking a long right before the open, and I'm fine with it. It's going to be the same thesis with ES, NQ, YM. Because in perspective, if we do get the buying pressure back above the opens, there's a lot of potential upside throughout that, which is what I'm willing to trade. Like I said, if I get stopped on this, I lose $150. Is there a correlation between gold and the indices? Let's go. I would have to look at that because there used to be that gold used to be decently correlated to the NASDAQ. I mean, not like 100% or not like 90%, but it was a larger position size than it is now. And in the past, like 3 months, 2 months, it decoupled a lot. Right. What do you mean? There's no tool that shows the money amount on TradingView? Hey, like 50K. I was basically just dumping every single every paycheck, every commission check I had into the market and then just yeeting it straight into options. And that was my entire trading strategy in my first 18 months. Jay, I mean, that money's gone. It doesn't bother me one bit now. That's the thing with that though. I lost it. It's gone forever. My goal is not to make it back. We're back. We just restart once. You kind of have to get in that mindset of, all right, now I'm going to restart. Like completely ignore your prior P&L. Just start from fresh. And yeah, this is more of a broader thing, but it's just because too many people be like, oh, I lost 50K. I have to make it back now. What do? Then you go down 100K. Then you try to make the 100K back because, oh my God, I lost 6 figures. Then you go down 130, you know? And I've just seen a lot of people do that. Right. There's definitely custom tools that you can probably adjust and make with this. I haven't looked at it at all. Like you can do your lot size, your risk, your entry price. You can, I believe, style you can change, price labels. There's a lot you can change with this. I just haven't looked at it in the slightest. So you could probably change some of that to make it show overall P&L. For me, I leave it like this because I can see my stop right there, my potential profit right there, tick wise, and then return or R multiple. Well, I thought MM less than 10 is had a full point. There is no MM less than 10. If it was, it'd be DGen hours. Yeah, Antonio, it's interesting because you have all walks of life between the 5 people in this. Like no two of us are identical or even honestly even similar. Wholeheartedly. I don't see any of us that are like, "Oh my god, those two are so much alike." Cuz none of us are for the most part. Did I get the one lesson on the No, no, I don't think you did, Rain. It's usually just in the live videos when chat convinces Jake to do DGen hours. Like they did later in the late session today. I thought about fully doing DGen hours, but then I like earlier before I even started streaming, thought about doing it tonight. And I looked at it. I'm like, dude, this market does not deserve DGen hours. If I do DGen hours, I want pure volatility. I want to be like, oh my God, I'm trying to pass these evals and I really just do not care. I'm going to try to pass a few. This market ain't worth it. Yeah. Yeah. He comes home in 2 days, I believe Jake said. So I'm going to guess Jake still runs Power Hour tomorrow and then Christian's back the next day. It is, Ollie, and I think that's the cool thing is you don't have to watch every single person's session. But I know a lot of you tune in to a mass majority. Like you guys see the 212 concurrent viewers. There's already been over 1,500 people throughout this stream. Obviously, it means people are jumping in, watching for 5-10 minutes, dipping out, whatever. But um, you all view a lot of our like overall streams, and you figure out what you want to listen to, what you kind of want to learn. Like I like to watch Mitch's streams now, especially around the noon thing, because the gamma thing desperately interests me because I put a lot of my focus on ES and SPY. So I'm like, could this be something I'd be interested in possibly implementing, or would it be something that I don't really want to? You know, it just there's a lot you can learn from everybody. Like Christian, I'll watch. I hear him talk about ICT all the time. Am I overly interested in ICT? No, but I'm interested in seeing his trading strategy in general. And then with Alan, I'm primarily focused on the overall psychology aspect of it because that's what he really dives into and really focuses on. And then Jake is just a bundle of everything with a little extra entertainment on top. It's the Megazord from Power Rangers. The problem is each one of you has your own charisma. I want to learn to trade like all of you. Ramoy, there's probably someone out there that trades just like a little bit of each of us. If you do, good luck. Because my God, good luck. All you got to do is someone's got to create a strategy based off all of ours. So we'll use Jake's sizing, Alan's VWAP. We'll use the more so 4-hour chart for me for like the higher time frame structure. We'll use Christian's ICT, and then we'll use Mitch's gamma. And we just have an absolute clusterfuck of a trading strategy right there. Right. I don't even know if I should take that as a compliment or not. Elevated, we told you guys since the beginning. We're in it. We're doing this shit for 365. I mean, I quite literally one day I lost Wi-Fi. And there was one stream in the Discord. A lot of you don't know this. We had an active tornado warning while I was streaming, and I fully lost power within the first 2 minutes of stream. After telling them, yeah, we have a tornado warning, they're like, oh my God, be safe. Full power outage, full blackout. And then I was out of power for like 32 hours. Phone died. That day was miserable. You remember that? Yeah, there's a few of you. The problem too is I know a lot of you through Discord, but a lot of you don't have the same YouTube name. Some of you definitely, but some of you, you're probably talking like I remember exactly who. But if I don't know your Discord, it's hard to know. But yeah, if you haven't already, hit that sub button. If we hit 50K by June 30th, Jake's giving away 100 accounts in like 5 minutes, something he said, which that's going to be painful to even think about. And he's going to be dyeing his hair blonde, which is sick. One, what is that? What are you operating on? I'm on TradingView, and that is the Dow Jones. I'm in MYM though, so I'm in micros. If this 5-minute does start to reject, I might just full close break even. I'm not overly like, oh my God, this trade has to hold. It's a trade I'm willing to put a little bit of risk on. But if we start to reject, I'm really not looking to just have heavy risk. Especially if oil gets more bidding. Gold's struggling a little. Oil's trying to bid up to the highs. ES and NQ are definitely weaker. How are we sitting on this? Because if we do lose the lows, there's a lot of room we could drop lower, and I don't think that's worth it. I don't think it's worth a hold if we break that. Trying to see how this little spike lower reacts. I'm just losing conviction looking at gold, looking at the indices all rejecting back towards the lows. I mean, I'm literally risking $150 in this trade and I'm stalking it this much, which is kind of delusional. So you have oil there, dollars showing strength as well. See if the 5 minute holds, but if we start to push, I'm probably just going to sweep cash. I think at the moment I would lose $25 or like $30, somewhere in there. Just want to see Blonde Jake back, dude. Right? The problem is, I don't know if he's shaving his head or not for it to go back to like what he was before. How long has this been going on? The 365? Antonio, this is week 5. So not long at all. We still have 11 months basically. I don't like this. I don't. Especially because YM just took new lows. ES and NQ did not. Blonde Buzz, dude, the leopard pattern would be sick. Jake has shaved his head and gone blonde before, and it looked really good. In the beginning, I was in California when he did it. In the beginning, I was like, I don't know how this is going to look. Dude, he looked honestly pretty fucking sick. What up, CJ? I'm probably just going to let this one ride out. I mean, I'm risking $150. I'm not going to overly stress it. But I emphasized that I was small size on it, so shouldn't kill anybody if this stops. That's what he did, Rye. If you look way back on his Instagram, he was like blonde. Yeah, I'm fully planning that stop to hit. Everyone else getting buzzing sound every few minutes. Is anyone else getting a random buzzing sound? Not me. All right, bet. I was gonna say if it's like generalized, I'll have to figure out what it is. Perfect. You know what that tells me? It means I don't have to do shit on my end. I was worried I had to figure out some tech stuff. Peroxide blonde. To shave would be awesome. Bernie's to do the full Dennis Rodman. Da-da-da-da. And Tony, the overall chat is great. I mean, especially the overnight chat. They are complete degens. Like if I didn't take a trade at all in the next 20 minutes, they'd probably be trying to get me to long the hell out of soybeans or something. But no, it's the chat in general. The support's been astronomically good. Like we can't ask for more. You might have detonitis. Let's do chickens today. Can you long? Is there a chickens futures? The unfortunate thing here, though, is YM is drastically weaker than NQ now. NQ didn't make new lows, YM did. So it would have been better along that one. Chicken futures would be interesting. I don't even know if you can. I've been long copper since 1300. Rain, have you actually, or did you just buy a bunch of copper pipes and put them in your backyard? Yeah, you can trade corn rye. A lot of larger processed like vegetables, especially meats, you can trade. Check that breakout. What's copper's ticker? Is it CU? Is it this one? Or just this? No, it should be. Oh, wait, it's not GLD, it's GC. So it should be something with Comex. Jake, I feel like everybody wants the long gold. I took an early degen long on YM, just like if it ended up holding. So far, it's looking like it's not going to hold. NQ's holding a little bit better. But it's just the overall structure. I feel like it's because we're also at that thesis of, all right, every day it's basically buy the dips. If it keeps dipping, that day might just not be the day when we get a pullback. I shorted gold. A few of you shorted gold. A few of you did. And I feel like we're just in that situation where it can go either way. But the last thing I'm probably going to do is short the overall market. Just due to the higher time frames, the structure that's been going on. I would rather be blatantly wrong and watch the market go lower and stop me out for $150 than to just short it and be wrong that way. My only concern is oil, because oil is seeing buying pressure, and I don't like that. Because the negative correlation there is likely going to continue to push the indices down, which, if that happens, that little stop's getting hit. Like I said, risk is drastically low on this. I'm short UX1. What's UX? HG. HG is copper. Why is it HG? It doesn't make any sense. They figure to be C. Because like everything else, gold, silver, platinum, everything else is the first letter. Rain, you've been long since 1300. Excuse me? We ain't at 1300. We're at 6.5. It's wire, but same thing. Oh, well, I don't know what the copper wire is. You have to give me the ticker. HG for height. Oh, makes sense. Yeah, oil's still pushing a little bit. We'll see what happens. I don't love the overall thesis of the market if oil keeps doing this. I like silver. I've still never traded silver. Like, not once. No chickens, unfortunately. We can do coffee, cotton, sugar. You guys love all three of those. You long gold, nice. There's cattle futures. There is. There's cattle and lean hogs. Feel like Emily right now. I didn't read that message earlier when you said it. You could trade Tyson. Trade long some Tyson nuggets. Can you trade the cattle futures chart? I'm gonna be honest. If I traded cattle futures, I don't feel like that would end well between me and the chat because they'd be more pissed off that I didn't trade soybeans or some other bullshit futures and I traded cattle instead. I already know how that whole situation would go. Well, what's cattle again? Because I know HE is hogs. LE. That 4 hour looks disgusting. That's definitely not a chart I'm interested in trading. But it looks volatile as hell if you do catch a move. What about NQ long or short? I took a stab on the YM. It's likely stopping us. We're what, 3 points away from getting stopped? NQ is going to be in a similar situation. We're in this overall range. I'm not interested right now. Especially if I get stopped on this, I'm just sitting cash, which I just got hit. So I just got stopped out minus 150 points on the session. Not 150 points, $150. Oh, no, there we go. Corn chart looks like Minecraft. Set up a poll. Does Jake eat gold? Should I set up a poll? Do I bring Jake on and make him live stream his gold trade? He's like, you son of a bitch. I've already streamed twice. I said, should Jake eat gold? So that way check and decide. And then you can blame them in the morning if it works or doesn't work. It's basically, if it works, Jake's a genius. If it doesn't work, Jake has the right to blame chat tomorrow. I've done too many hours today. You have. I don't want you on. You've done way too many. Your copper futures is HG. I think I just looked at HG, didn't I? How is your copper futures HG? And it's at 1369, and mine's at 6.4. What? Half cup type bullshit. Yes, sir. I don't see shit that I'm overly interested in. If NQ does get above the open, you can look for the pushback higher. Little annoying that I wanted all the indices to do this, but it was mainly NQ that did. Can you give me a short version of what Project 365 is? Of course. Project 365 is a group of what we call the Avengers of trading that Jake put together. Jake, Rake Trades, he's the one commenting in chat. He puts the whole show on, self-funded by him. But with that, there's 5 of us. Jake streams, and we stream throughout the 24-hour period. It's supposed to be like 5.5 days a week. We do every single day. We have streamed every day for the past 5 weeks, no matter what. We have not missed a session, a day, anything. Jake starts at 8:30 in the morning, and then we go into the noon session, which is going to be Mitch, Mr. Gamma. After Mitch, we run into the power hour session, which is Mr. Christian, the Melly. He goes until market close. Market open, you get me at 7 p.m. Eastern. After me, Alan runs the pre-London from 1 a.m. Eastern to 3 a.m. Eastern. So it's the 5 of us to stream. I kick it off on Sundays. Actually, Jake kicks it off on Sundays. And then it goes into me, and we stream all the way until market close Friday. And then there's usually a Sunday session as well. Yes, it is Project 365 because our goal is to do it for an entire year. We can't do this without the support from y'all. Like I said, Jake is self-funding this endeavor himself. He has given away damn near 30 accounts every single week so far. And that's the very base minimum because Jake's given away 12 in one day before. So it's just, you guys help us support this. As long as the support's there, I don't see us going 365. I see us not stopping. And we ain't going to stop if we don't have to. If you want to support us, first off, like the stream. Second off, subscribe to the channel. Third off, if you're using a prop firm, use code RAKERRT at checkout. It helps us keep this thing going, keeps the wheels moving. If y'all enjoy it, if you're going to buy a prop firm, it's the least we can ask. Is there a water market? I feel like now, after the depths we went into, there has to be. There's got to be a water market somewhere. You gonna look for another trade? I'm interested, but there's a chance we just got fully wicked out at the lows, and that's really gonna suck. For now, though, I'm gonna wait because the last thing I want to do is stab here somewhere and have it go back to the lows. I don't think the normally if I'm looking at a chart, I let the chat know in the beginning, today's the day. And I've done it 3 times now where I say today's the day I'm willing to take 3 losses for this type of trade to work out. And normally it's worked out almost every single time. Today's not the day. Today's not the day I'm going to try to sit here and stab and just take a bunch of small losses. I mean, $150 isn't going to change my funded account at all. Shouldn't change anybody's account. In reality, it's worth a little stab, but if I lose 3 of those, 4 of those, then you start to really compound it up and it's just not worth it. Quick update, I closed my YM and took the NQ short. Good luck. Where's that? Where's that one? It's the meme I always send in Discord. I don't even know how to get it. You know the one I'm talking, the Hunger Game ones. Like, good luck and may the odds forever be in your favor, brother. We got to remember too, we are below the opens. I can see the short playing out easily. We're not in a market where I'm overly eager to short. We're really not. If I was looking for a trade to the downside, I'd probably rather just long oil. I would. I'd much rather long oil than short the indices up here. Wholeheartedly. Especially because oil, if it does rip, can go to like 101.5. There's juice there. There's obviously going to be a lot of juice if the indices do pull back lower, but I'm not shorting this close to all-time highs. I don't like to do it. Pram. Yeah. New York was awesome. Fun fact, that was actually the last time I had any alcoholic beverage, which is weird. What's happening today? Absolutely nothing, Soul. But in a little bit, how many likes are we at? 120. We should at least get to 150. The problem is, I'm going to say I want 150 likes for a giveaway. You guys are going to get it to like 135, 140. And then I'm going to do the giveaway, and it's going to shoot up to 175, 200. Happens every time. Every fucking time. Second I do it, you're like, you know what? Now I'll like it. H2O, NASDAQ, Velas, California Water Index. The last thing I want to trade is California Water Index. You already know if it has California, that thing's manipulated. But then again, the entire market is. Oh, I closed my NQ already. Omar, do you even know? Are you just trading to trade? Are you just jumping in charts to jump in charts, my guy? You just closed your YM to get an NQ. The next comment, 2 comments later, is you closed the NQ already. Nice trade if you got 500 on that, though. A little scalp. I think the market in total is trash right now. I'm just not interested. YOLO, bet. We need Put in Bay Water Index, brother. I'll go to Put in Bay right now. I mean, unfortunately, like if Jake came to Ohio, that's what we'd have to do. Like if we did a full certified meetup in Ohio, I'd be like, Jake, we got to rent out an entire hotel in Put in Bay. We got the day 3 of it. We got to go to Cedar Point. Day 4, we spend at Soak City, and it's just a week-long endeavor. What up, Pete? A week in Ohio? ZP, you couldn't handle a week in Ohio, bro. It's beautiful. What up, PT? That's the thing, though. Most people don't realize, like, they think of Ohio, they don't realize that we have a lot of the world records for roller coasters in one park. And then also we have, what is it, 8 islands up there that people travel across the US to go to during the summer, which I think is delusional. Like Put in Bay is cool, but it's not that cool. You might be right. I've never been. Depends where you go. Like if anyone traveled to where I live, they'd be like, well, what the hell do you do here? But there's places you can easily go to. I think Hocking Hills down south would be sick. What do the indices want to do here? I hate that hourly close. I hate this hourly close with a passion. Right. I've been to Miami twice, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. Not as bad as it hurt for my buddy because he woke up in a bush in a parking lot with no phone or wallet 45 minutes away from us. But for me, it still hurt. And yeah, that's a story. And it is a very true story. 45 minutes away from where we were staying, woke up in a bush in a parking lot. No phone or wallet. What is that, Ollie? Gandhi, that's the thing. Miami's a massive flex off. Like, no matter what it is. And it's funny because if you had, like, you bring, let's say, a Porsche to, even if you bring like an Audi R8 to somewhere in Ohio, people are gonna be like, holy shit, look at that car. You bring that to Miami, people are gonna laugh at you and say you're broke. Just because of how like ego it is down there. Now, don't like mind me. It is a cool place. But overall, it is just a massive flex off. Miami's massively overrated. Massively. See, right, stuff like that. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a Ferrari in Ohio. If I wanted to, I could go south of Cleveland and probably see a bunch. But it's just ours are the suburbs. They're not big cities that are like populated. All the wealthy people surround the city. They're just not in it. Hysteric. I have questions. I don't think I'm gonna ask them because I feel like there's an alternative there that you're hinting at, and I don't think I want to know. You rather than wake up with more money in your wallet than you left with. Yeah, I have a feeling I know where you're going with that, and I don't want to. Short Miami bubble's gonna burst. Isn't it crazy that all of Miami is built on a swamp? And the greatest part about me currently, you guys should be happy I'm yapping right now because I'm slowly watching like people trickle away since I'm not in a trade. And all it's gonna do is I yap for like 10, 15 minutes, and then I do the giveaway. So those of you that stay through the conversations, you get a chance. But yeah, it's crazy that Miami's fully built on a swamp. They just threw a bunch of dirt and sand on it and said, yeah, there's a hold. Johnny, it's a strategy I do almost every time. And no one's noticed it yet. Whether I'm in a trade or not, I will yap for like 20, 30 minutes and then just be like, let's do the giveaway. And it's because I know there's people in here like just waiting for the giveaway. And then they think I'm not going to do it. And I talk for like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, we're going to give it away. Not the Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl. What's the end goal of Project 365? Pram, that's what I'm just gonna call you because I'm gonna botch how to pronounce that. The end goal is for Jake to, in reality, make this a profitable endeavor. Like it's full transparency. It's how we would be able to keep doing this. Jake's able to keep us on as hosts. We're able to continuously do this. We bring more hosts on. We want to turn this into something like what the prop firms do. except we just don't have prop firm money to back it. We have Jake backing it. Jake fully funds all of this by himself. But it's building the overall network of this. And it's not us. And you can even tell I've given one cheeky plug this entire 2 hours so far. It's not us just continuously pushing stuff, pushing material, pushing sales, trying to do this, that, whatever. And we actually give away more than we do anything, which is crazy. But it's just building a community around it. It's like the bench warmers. You build it, they will come. And obviously that quote was from somewhere else a while ago, but they said it in the bench warmers. You build it, they will come. We're trying to build it, and then we're trying to have the community build around that as well, which is what I think the true end goal is. Because you build a community of loyal people, they'll support you through and through. No, Gandhi, the end goal isn't for Jake to own a prop firm. I think for Jake, and he's talked about it, it's for a prop firm to look at him and say, you know what, we want to fund this. Like we want to put our names behind this and support it. I think that would be like a dream world, which Jake talked about this morning. But no, Jake doesn't want to start a prop firm that I know of, at least. Appreciate you, Pram. It means more than you'd think. Trust me. Jake is the McGeechee. He's going to be the Netflix of trading. And you guys have to remember, too, we're only 5 weeks in. We're 5 weeks in, and we've had 200 to 300 people on Asia session most days. We've had 200 to 300 people on London session most days. A lot of people aren't getting that off of streaming for months. And it just shows the support overall. Obviously, we had a community behind it when we started, but the support's there. And I plan on finding other ways to do certain things on stream, bring people up, do whatever it is, to make it more of like not even like podcast, just more like entertaining while also trading. Jake would be too good at giving stuff away, which would be no for a firm. Yeah, most firms don't give away. Like, hear me out. I don't watch a lot of prop firm streams. Do prop firms give away as many accounts as Jake does in a single day? Or is it like on par? Because on average, Jake's giving away 6 accounts, usually 2 on his stream, 1 on every other stream. So Jake's giveaway budget's literally larger than a lot of firms right now, which is insane. Speaking of which, is it time? Should we do it? I'm also terrible at this. Like, I'm supposed to, and I'm not even supposed to say like the stream to do a giveaway. It's my choice when and where I want to do it. Would I love 200 likes? Yeah. But I also want to give away an account. Because I like giving away stuff. Especially because I didn't have to pay for it. Jake did. But I like giving it away. What do you guys think? Should we run the giveaway? Is there a way to super chat to support the awesome streams? Pram, it's something we don't have enabled. And also, none of this is monetized. You guys don't get ads. You guys don't. None of that. But it's something that would be cool to end up doing so you guys can do it. You can, you'd be able to sub if you wanted to. You could give subs. You could dono if you wanted to. And I think it's something that'd be sick to add. But also, I feel like we don't want it to seem like we're asking for it, if that makes sense. So it's something we haven't really talked about a whole lot, but it's something that could be done. I just don't think we're overly interested in we don't want to feel like we want you guys to dono. Because that's not what we're looking for with it. Anyways, we're going to do the giveaway. Market still kind of looks like shit. I think there could be a setup later on. I don't think there's one right now. I don't want to put any more risk on. So to enter giveaway, did I type the right one? To enter the giveaway, you're going to do this. You're going to type !enter when the bot replies. So when the bot replies, you type that, you get a chance to enter the giveaway. Once the bot replies to you, you get your ticket. You only need to type it once. Once the bot replies to you, you're good. You never got to do it again. If you want to do it, feel free to do it as many times as you want. Y'all get 5 minutes starting right now. So if you already typed it, type it again. Just make sure you get a reply. Sometimes if you don't get a reply, type it one more, maybe 2 more times, just to make sure. But overall, well, if you type it once, you should get your ticket. Oh, Rain, I found what you're on. Just because I looked at your Discord, found it out. You're in from 1300. Damn, son. I wouldn't even know what the margin is to swing copper. Obviously, you just built different, I guess. But yeah, once you entered, hit the like button, like the stream, help us grow, help us get more support. If you haven't already, sub to the channel. We are at like 32,000, somewhere around there. I have to find the exact number. Trying to get to 50 right now. Hopes are dwindling of Jake having blonde hair. They are. We need some banger videos to pop off to get that up there. So we might have to start looking into YouTube videos. Oil's holding the open. Gold's back under yesterday's highs already. So even if I took gold, no matter what, I never would have hit the highs. I'm also going to close the poll because I don't know if Jake's here. 72 wanted you, or 72% wanted Jake to degen. So that's interesting. 28% said no. I just see Pram type enter like 12 times. He's the number one person typing it in the chat. I mean, you got to make sure you get your entry. Am I right? Problem with chewing gum is you just get sick of gum after a while. There's 97 of you in, halfway through the giveaway. You still have time. There's 178 of you in here. You guys should be happy. The bot is tired. The bot is tired. Dude, the bot's been bugging lately. Like hardcore bugging. I don't like it. But half of you are in. At most, around half. Also, those of you got in, I made a massive step in life. I finally found something that I have to take care of a little bit. And with that, for Mother's Day, we went plant shopping. I bought a succulent. I got a plant. Last 2 I had died because my brother's cat killed them. So far, this one has lived 24 hours. We're going to see if it stays alive. I know I don't have to water it often, so it should be alive. But she already found it. So it's in that territory where she's going to go after. Yeah, VT, I have no clue what it is. I just saw it. So like, dude, this thing looks sick. So I bought it. Because there's like 5 different ones in there. Did you name the plant yet? No, I don't know. Are you supposed to name plants? Like, is that a thing? Nauex. You spelled enter wrong. Fix it real quick before the giveaway goes. I used to have those. Well, yeah, they seem like they'd be dying easy. Wait, those die easy? I got them because I thought they wouldn't die easy. Those better not die easy. You guys have 50 seconds left. Only if you end up getting more plants, they all need names. VT, I gotta find plants. They die hard. Are you serious? Those plants die hard? Are you guys telling me I got the one plant that dies? Because I'm gonna be depressed. Because the cat finally doesn't kill a plant that I have, and it's gonna die itself. That sucks. Oh, hard to kill. Perfect. All right. Bet. Easy as hell. Don't even water them like twice a month. Well, that makes sense why I tried to water it and I spilled shit all over the floor. Elevated. I'm just gonna need that person to be able to take care of plants. Like they can grow whatever the hell they want to grow in the house. Just keep them alive, so we have something in here. So when it comes to that, dude, I try to take care of them. They just die, but it's mainly the cat. Damn, gonna make me go back to nicotine, bro. Just grow some bud. It could. We do have a little garden. Anyways, I let you guys go 25 seconds over. That's my bad. But if anyone got in, let's see who wins. Ali. Ain't no way. Have you won before? I'm killing over watering it. Mr. Zito, I tried to water it today and water spilled over the side because the soil was already wet and I didn't check it first. So there's a possibility. Ali, you won already? Lucid. All right, so you're cool with me rolling another one then, right? Knowing you, you should be. Okay, bet. Just because we like to spread it out, but also I know you're here every stream. 93S.S. I can't say I've ever seen that name before. There's too many nice guys in here. Is that person in here? 93S.S. I'll give him a little bit to reply because the timer's still going, so we'll see. But he definitely has to reply no matter what because I got to figure out how to give it away. That sounds like a bot, but I can't even tag him. We'll wait. We'll see. Hopes aren't looking good for that guy though, because I can't even tag him in the chat. They farm on giveaways. I'm pretty sure the person who won one of the giveaways yesterday and someone who won a giveaway on Jake's won them on alt accounts that they had. So they probably entered on 2 accounts. This person, I don't know if it's an actual bot or not, but 93S.S technically won. But he hasn't replied at all. I can't tag him to even see his chat logs. Bot tweaking. I don't think bot's tweaking. But I'm going to give him another 30 seconds. If he doesn't reply, it's GG's. And we'll pick another one. So don't leave yet. Just give it to me. Ain't a bot just saying, huh? Did I win? Not yet, Joe. Bro, I'm going to re-roll it if they don't reply. Because even if you tag them, they're not saying anything. Yeah, it's been 2 minutes. They didn't reply. GG's. Oh, you're here. Okay. There's no way the second I go to do it, you come back to reply. The second I'm like, you know what? They're cooked. You're lucky. You're lucky, brother. Have you been in the channel before? You have been. Yeah, you've been here a few times. I'm going to assume it's probably an alt account, but might not be. Anyways, they were here on a 5-5 stream. So they've been here before. But shoot me a message on Instagram, which is going to be wrong. Bot need a minute to activate. I mean, this is the thing. There's a lot of people here that do use alt accounts to join the giveaways. It's crazy, but people do it. But yeah, shoot me a message on Instagram. Let me know you won. Send me your YouTube. Let me know when you send it, just so that way I can make sure it's you. And then I'll get you that account. Anyways, congrats. Chat did think you were a bot pretty heavily. What I'm wondering is how people like enter. It makes me think it's an alt, which is perfectly fine. Like if you want to have an alt YouTube and join a giveaway with it, there's not shit we can do about it. People have won on alts before. It is what it is. But it makes me think it's an alt because it took them 2 minutes to reply, or they were just busy. But no, make sure to shoot me a DM on Instagram so I know it's you. And then I'll go ahead and get all the information I need. Pram, for my streams, it really depends on, first off, how active Jake is in the chat and the kind of mood he's in. Because there's times where Jake will get high as shit and like we'll give away 3 accounts on my stream. Most of the time, though, the majority of the giveaway is going to be Jake's stream. And it's anywhere between 1 to like 2 accounts per stream. There's also times we don't give away accounts because we need to make sure at some point the chat is okay with us not giving away accounts 6 times a day because the numbers add up quite a bit. Jake's already given away total over like 1,000 prop firm accounts. And if you do the maths, that's a shitload of money. Like a shitload of money. Like more money than most people even fathom having. And he's just giving it away in like evals. Yeah, usually my streams are 1 to 2. Shirley Fortress 886 says something about ETH. You're gone. Bye-bye. If I ever win, I'll give it to the next person if Ron trades soybeans or hogs. Fuck. No, Austin, actually, you have to keep it and only you can't trade. Austin, we're going to make a deal. If you win a giveaway account, you get to keep it. But you can't trade the indices. You can't trade gold. Can't trade oil. And you can't trade silver. And you have to get a payout. You can trade any other futures instrument out there. You can't trade the main 6. You know, I'll let you trade silver, but the other 6 you can't have. I want to see you trading cheese futures and getting a payout. Could you guys imagine this though? Because the Tradeify Cup and stuff like that says, like the Grand Cup that's happening. Usually when you get up there in the rankings, it'll say your main instrument traded. Imagine looking at that board and you see NQ, 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 ES, NQ, lean hogs, cheese, soybeans. Like you're going to look at those people and say, what the fuck is going on there? Do you have to buy 50K or do they give one to you? You just go to Tradeify, go to their website, and you should, as long as you've bought an account with them before, you can trade it. As long as you have one. If you haven't bought an account, use code RT at checkout, get the discount, and then you can enter in the cup, which I still have to do. I haven't entered in the Tradeify Cup yet, I don't think. But it's free. Once you've made an account, it's free. Like last year, the whole thesis was you either had to pay $35 or if you had bought an account ever in history with Tradeify, it was free. Number 1 trader, Cheese, Classic Rate Trades team member. Dude, that'd be legendary. Dude, you know how bad that would be, though? No payouts allowed. Boom, most profitable prop firm to ever exist. Are you talking about the Grand Cup? Or just you creating a prop firm and just rugging everybody? Dollar strengthen against the yen. The last thing we want is the dollar to strengthen, dude. The dollar strengthens. Yeah, guys, we're in a situation where things can get spicy. They're still far away from getting there. Right? We still have a lot of room for markets in like holy shit mode. But if the dollar gets bids and oil gets bids, if both go back above 100, it's not going to be pretty. It's not. So you want to make Prim, you want to make a prop firm and just rug everybody. They've tried that before. It doesn't end well. Well, actually, usually if you want to do that, go to Forex though, because they're unregulated, so no one seems to care, and that's what most of the influencers in Forex do anyway. Just create a prop firm, create a broker, get everyone to use it, rug pull them, and go on about your day. It's how to become successful in Forex, from what I've seen. Gold dumping, yeah, the indices and gold are pulling back. Sounds like you want to go to the Feds for fun. That's why people do it on Forex. It's also why I never got into Forex. Rugs are us prop firm. To be fair, if you name, would you still get in trouble if you like named a meme coin something like Rugs are us and like put the description, we are going to rug this coin, and people bought in and you rug them? Could you still get in trouble for that? Like if you blatantly tell, because people are dumb enough to buy it. We see people every day. The IQ levels are at astronomical low levels. And people would still buy it for the memes. Like if you do a full disclosure, like we have a disclosure in the Discord on this, like it's not financial advice, yada, yada. If you just make it, we are going to rug pull this coin no matter what, and you are likely going to lose money. I feel like people are still going to buy it. Big Austin, that is actually incorrect. They don't go after everybody who rug pulls, but if you look at the broader rug pull aspects, what they do is they just target certain individuals that have a larger name in the space and they go after them. But if you build the coin and build a massive rug pull off of it with a plan to rug pull, then you can get in trouble for it. But yeah, no, I agree. It's the blockchain. A lot of it's unregulated for the most part, but they are going to try to regulate certain things like that no matter what. Trump coin. I mean, valid. I mean, like, I don't think you get in trouble, but I feel like if there's proof that you have a full plan of rugging it, that you could. I think the reason a lot of people don't get in trouble for it is because they snipe the coins. And that's coming from me who barely knows shit about crypto. Getting close to my first ever payout, the minimum amount. What should I run it for? Max payout, or should I withdraw 50% here? What do you think? I'm not gonna give a lot of advice there. Primarily because, like, first off, my whole theory is I don't chase max payouts. I don't. I'll take a payout that I'm comfortable with, especially if it's like my first payout. Like if you want a payout, if you want that accomplishment, take the payout. I don't think you can ever go wrong taking a payout as long as you leave enough of a buffer there. Because like I'm a huge advocate for withdrawals. I feel like a lot of degenerates are a huge advocate for max withdrawals. The problem here that you could face is if you go for max and then you lose a few trades and you lose the ability to take a payout and you don't get the payout, you're going to be pissed. Because trust me, I've literally requested a payout before. And it was on old Apex, and I blew the account before the payout even left my account, and I never got the payout. So I was approved for a payout. Funds weren't withdrawn, and then I blew the account before they withdrew them. Never got it, and I was pissed. Because it was just no reason for me not to get it, you know? Because right now, none of those, and my entire thesis with prop firms, funded accounts, everything. Not a single dollar of profit matters. That's why if I have big days on prop firms, I don't talk about them much. I don't really post them. I'd be like, yes, this is a beautiful trade, but I'm not going to post, oh, I made $1,500 across 3 separate accounts in the last 24 hours. Because none of that profit exists until it's actually paid out into my bank account. And that is my full perspective on it. Gator, for me, I don't like trading accounts. For like my whole perspective, I will take a payout. That's my whole way. But people will consistently try to get max payouts and blow the accounts. I've done it before. Like I said, for me, that was 3 years ago with Apex, maybe 2 years ago. It was a long time ago when I did it, but I was a fucking degenerate. I've said it through and through. I was a complete degenerate. Now I take a payout the second I can get it. Because none of it's cash, none of it's profits until it's in my bank account. I have 5 accounts on tap. I have 3 right now. So I'm slowly rotating between them now. I'm doing like the Azang method. Doug, I'm not overly interested in shorting all-time highs. Can it work? Yes. I mentioned in the chat in the beginning, I'm not there. I would rather long oil than short it. Can shorts easily work? Yes. Gold has a massive failure here, which can play out beautifully for shorts if this does hold. For me, I'm just going to wait. You're shorting an all-time high market into data in the morning, just not what I'm interested in doing. I'd rather be cash, come back tomorrow, see what sets up. I think this week's going to be slower until the market gets an overall potential move. And I'm okay with that. That's just what we got to be used to in the Asia session. You got to remember, lately, the Asia session's been hot. There's been a lot of moves. Doesn't always happen. Were there moves today? Yeah. Even off the open, if I shorted below the open, which would be where I'm interested in, you could have caught 10 points. If I shorted this last little consolidation, I caught 6. I really don't care about a 6-point trade. I just really don't. Like if you're a scalper, it's beautiful. But for me, I usually look for larger potential moves, and I just don't see them at the moment. My payout was 500, but I decided to rack it up. You decided to rack it up as in build it or take it. For me, I'd rather take $500 than just leave it in the account. Unless not the one place I will disagree is if you've gotten multiple payouts before and you know you can do it. And like if I'm looking at an account and I can take, let's say 500, but my buffer at that point would be squeezed, I'm not going to take it. I would rather continuously work on slowly building it to build up the overall buffer on the account so I can keep it alive longer. And that is just my perspective on it. So it really depends on where my mindset is with it. Like, do I want to pay out or do I want to just continue to build it? What broker would you recommend to trade futures with live capital? Because Thinkorswim margin requirements are insane. Pram, you are going to want to look at Tradeovate depending on what country you're in, but look for Tradeovate. In a good perspective with MES, the micros, on Thinkorswim, it's like $1,500 or like $1,450 per contract. Tradeovate's $50 for intraday day trades. If you want to hold during the session close, the 1 hour, it jumps to the full margin requirement. So Tradeovate's a really good one. Gator, it's something I like to do. Account costs 100, you're getting way more in that payout. Agreed. Ramoy, agreed. I love taking the payout and buying more prop firm accounts with it. That's what I do. For the first time in months, I like this short. Ride it, Joe, if you like it. How long can I keep a past Tradify account without activating it? I bought 5 new ones the day I passed. I'm trying to pass at least 2 more before activating them live. DM their support because I don't want to give you a wrong answer on that, Killa. I would love to give you the answer. I just don't want to give you the wrong answer. Because I know Apex has a 7-day window. I don't know if Tradeify does. I don't know if anyone in here does. Some prop firms allow you to bank the past evals. They allow you to just sit on it. Some don't. So I'd look at that. Their support's always helpful though. Unless someone in here knows. Like for 100%. I definitely see the short easily playing out farther, especially on like why I'm breaking this consolidation lows. I have zero interest in longs. I'd be leaning more towards short, but I don't have a lot of interest in shorts. Pram, wait. Oh, it's only 1,500 for 1 MQ. I thought it was like 40K or some shit. That's what my TradeZella told me. No, Pram, don't listen to TradeZella when it comes to margin requirements on that. TradeZella is just whacked. No, it's 1,500 for 1 MES. MNQ, I believe. Does anyone know the MNQ margins? Because I know it's double on Tradeovate from 50 to the 100. Does anyone know the like main MNQ margin requirement for brokers? Right, I'm trying. You guys are asking questions that I know like half of the answer to, and I now have to look it up. Like I need to look up what is the MNQ margin requirement. I trade options mainly, so IDK. Yeah. I mean, if you want to have less in a futures account, I would just go towards Trade of 8. Mainly QQQ. Yeah. Johnny, so that's on Trade of 8. He's on Thinkorswim. So a good example, like Trade of 8, and a lot of people don't understand this just because they don't swing trade futures. Trade of 8 with the MES, it is $50 margin requirement per contract. But if you hold it over the 1 hour close window, it goes up to like 1450. And I know MNQ on Trade of 8 is 100, so I don't know if the main margin to hold over that 1 hour window doubles or not. Since he's on Thinkorswim, it's going to be the full size margin. And I just don't know what that is, so I can't give that exact answer. Yeah, let me see if Google helps. Actually, I'm going to try Claude to see if it knows anything. Usually it doesn't. Sometimes it helps. Most of the time it doesn't. I'm going to host the MNQ margin. Why is Claude talking about prop firms here? So it says it's probably around 1825, but then it shows this random shit in there. The margin requirement for prop firms, which is likely just a drawdown. And they're just Claude's trying to say that's an actual margin requirement. MNQs were $2 per point, so that's right, with a tick value of 50. Yes, correct. And 1/10 the size. Yes. Claude kind of got it right. Prop firms typically lower intraday trading margins. No, ignore everything about the prop firm here. I would say it's probably around like this 1800 area for standard CME exchange brokers. That's what I'd probably lean more towards. If you got to ask, maybe not do it. Well, it's more so just to know what kind of capital you need in there. I'll be here all week for the bad jokes. Appreciate you, Ryan. It's what I'm looking forward to, brother. Go to CME group website. I could. I just wanted to use Claude. I haven't used it in like 2 weeks. I pay for a subscription. I had to use it at some point, you know. Might as well make the subscription worth it. It's probably giving me atrocious information. I don't think I've ever used the CME group website. I don't know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm looking at, but I don't know where the margins. There you go. So MNQ margins $3,600. Is that correct? W Claude usage. Yeah, you gotta burn the water, you know. All I know is long NQ, I know what to do if this strat stops working. Big Austin. That's if it does, if we end up consolidating more and more, it's gonna be absolutely brutal. But it looks like you're looking around 60 or 3,600 for MNQ margin requirements. As a businessman, respect. Yeah, I mean, I use it for a lot of stream stuff, but for the most part, I haven't need to make new overlays or new stream banners and stuff for Claude. And I hate like asking the most basic questions to Claude. Is anyone shorting this right now? I didn't realize how large of a move we actually made. And now I feel like an idiot. Because I was looking at ES, I'm like, that's not a crazy move. But when the hell did NQ sell off 200 points? Like, when did that? I didn't. What the fuck? I think there was ceasefire news. You mean the fact that we haven't had a ceasefire for the past 3 months that we've been saying we've had a ceasefire? That makes sense. No, Pram, don't worry about it. If I'm looking at chat, it's not on you guys. It's not. It's on me looking at the chat. You've been talking, yeah, but I thought the chart was just like slowly moving until the last candle that was 70 points. To be fair, I didn't really have interest in shorting. Did the chart look weak? Yeah, I said it looked weak. I didn't have interest in shorting. I said I'd rather long oil. Probably should have done that though. But after I took my one trade, I kind of just wrote off the day. I'm not worried about not taking a trade. I'm perfectly fine being cash. But no, don't worry about distracting me. I distract myself. That's the problem. Same here, isn't insane. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like insane. The one thing we have done though is we just erased today's whole move on NQ. NQ is already back at yesterday's lows. So that could get ugly. Thank you breaks that low and gets a gap down. That's where things can get a little hairy. NQ is the only one near the low though, so something to pay attention to. Something to keep eyes on. Yes, Big Austin. If the money's floating out of the market, where do you think it's going to go? What's recession proof if we go into one? Guarantee you soybeans probably are. Guarantee you people are buying beans. ZS isn't doing terrible. Austin, I would actually enjoy if they said that because right now the dollar's backed by fuck all. Absolutely nothing. Toxic. What means structure change? Us breaking below yesterday's lows on NQ. If that's what you're talking about, then yeah. Agreed. Yeah, Ramoy, I could sit here and be like, oh my God, I should have shorted this, which could have taken the trade. It makes sense. I was not interested in shorting. And I would rather be cash than trying to stab this over and over and over. So I'm happy about that. I'll find a trade tomorrow during New York. I'll find a trade tomorrow night. Wherever I find a trade, I'm cool with it. So you're saying long New York open. I want to see what CPI does or whatever data we have in the morning. I want to see what that does. And then I trade off of that. Until then, I'm not touching shit. We just sold off 200 points on NQ. Is volatility there? Yeah. But now we're trying to find that support. What's there to do here unless you just want to long every lower high? Which if you do, all power to you. The one thing I know though is a bear who just caught this trade is on the top of the world. They're like, oh my God, today's the day. It's D-Day, it's capitulation day. They're shorting it. They're ready for that next wave. And then you zoom out a little bit and realize what the hell just happened. Everybody's scared to short now. I think that's the point of this bullishness. I wouldn't say I'm scared to short because I'm not. I'm never really scared to get in a position. For me, it's just, and it's solely structure wise for my setup. I trade with the 4-hour trend for a majority of my trades. And if we're making higher highs, we haven't made lower lows yet. I'm not overly bearish. I want to be following the 4-hour trend. And that is like one of the key foundational pillars of a mass majority of my trades, especially higher conviction A+ setups. So if it's not, I'm just going to be sitting on my hands while it goes down. And we've seen like maybe 2 of those this entire move up. So I just have not been shorting a lot. So it's more so knowing what you like to trade, how you like to trade, and your overall setup and trading it. For me, that setup's not here. Could this be an intra-session trade? Of course. NQ slammed off last week's highs right into yesterday's lows beautifully. Could have been a really nice move. For me, just wasn't interested. USD backed by freedom. You ain't wrong, brother. You ain't wrong. Why does the dollar have value? Because we say it does. And that is the number one reason it has value. Trump logged into social right now. Log it. When he says buy it, that's like, did anyone see him Friday tweet about Dell? We were here and Trump tweeted buy Dell. It just gone. 8% straight up, no looking back. Imagine 0 days on that shit at 1 in the afternoon. But anytime Trump tweets anything about buying a company or longing a stock or longing the stock market, like if he tweets, this is a good buying opportunity on a pullback, I'm longing. I don't care. Last time it was the low and we had a 10% up day the next day. He tweets something, probably going to follow it just in case it works. $1 through the contract is Harbor Truck full money show up to my house. Austin, how would that work? Do you have to give them cash for cash? Cash settled? No one man should have all that power. Agreed. But also, if you roll back, Elon had the same power back when crypto had it. But no, I mean, it's just, I feel like he realized the power and has it. But something again, he is making tweet. Do I think the president should be just ripping tweets like, oh my God, long Dell and Dell rips 10%? No, but the market's manipulated. It is. It's going to happen. I'm more concerned about lawmakers and people passing bills being worth $300 million off a $250,000 annual salary than our president making tweets. You know, that's where I'm like, you know what? Maybe we need to look in this a little bit versus Trump tweeting about stuff like that. I mean, he's probably making a shitload of money. Like his family's probably making money. It is. Trump coin made his family, I saw it, like $2 billion. You can hate it all you want. People are buying it. So for that, it's like, eh. But no, I'm more so about at least he's saying what to buy and then it moves. Because I watched Dell when he tweeted it. He tweeted it and then Dell printed this whole candle and then it ripped. So there was opportunity to get in if you wanted to. Whereas the lawmakers are actively buying the positions and then passing laws to better the positions, you know? That's where I'm like, maybe something should be done, but it's not going to. Government's always going to be able to do that. Because they're also ones that vote on if they can do that or not. Activation after passing evaluation. How long can I hold the account before activating? No. Just now you can hold your past evaluation as long as you want before activating. There's no limit after you pass. Is that the AI? Just note the activation timing after you pass. You'll need to wait for the daily reconciliation window, and then you can activate your sim funded account. Killa, what prop firm are you on? Did we just find a low off yesterday's lows? Tradeify? Okay. Right, Pram. And that's to be fair, that's my mindset on stuff. People will say, like, oh my God, this guy's like, people will talk bad about other traders and say their trading's not good. And I just look at it, I'm like, dude's a hell of a marketer, though. Like, he can market the shit out of it. If he's not profitable and he has 10 supercars and he's selling cores and stuff, he can market, and I respect that. I do. I have respect for some good market, like the Paul brothers. A lot of people don't like the Paul brothers, which in reality, if you hate them, they want you to, because you're going to watch them more than someone who's an actual fan. It's marketing, right? You need people to hate you. Any publicity is good publicity, but they're some of the greatest marketers in this entire generation. And I will live on that throne. People can hate them all they want. They are some of the greatest marketers out there. But like stuff like that, I respect it wholeheartedly. Do people do shitty things? Of course. But I respect the marketing. Prim, I watched Trump tweet that. And I was like, I'm like, that's weird. He tweeted it's a good time to buy. And then at the end of the day, I watched the stock market be up 10%. And I'm like, he literally just put it on a silver platter for us and said, buy whatever you can. And I just stared at the tweet going, huh, that's an interesting tweet. And I didn't do shit and just watched it rip 10%. Some stocks up 20% in a day. You're like, what the hell just happened? And it was just the president tweeting, it's a good time to buy. Big Austin, I've never had jury duty. I've never gotten a letter for jury duty. And I feel like if I got jury duty, I would immediately find a way to get out of jury duty. Straight manipulation, killer. The entire stock market is manipulation, though. That's the thing. It is. Every part of it is. Every single aspect about the entire stock market is manipulated. Which is interesting. But it's what we trade. The best public signals group of all times. Bro, I would love to I used to have notifications for Trump and Elon back in his first presidency because they would just tweet so much shit and the market would move. It was like towards the end of it. But no, that was probably the greatest call out in history. 10% rally in one day on the indices. Yeah, I agree. So what I'm going to do here is likely watch. I'm probably going to close up before the end of the hour just because I don't plan on trading before then. I'm going to watch this hourly close, see how the indices react. If we hold well and we start to change back structure to the upside, I'll be interested in broader longs. Stop near the lows, nothing like too aggressive. But I don't know if I'm going to trade. So I think for the most part, I'm probably just going to call it a night. See what the market gives us tomorrow. And I just don't. There's volatile opportunity here. This is the type of setup where I'd be like, maybe we throw some DGen hours on. I don't want to do that. I really don't. I don't. But if it was more interesting price action going, I would. For now, nah. Was trading futures a lot different during Biden? Big Austin, trading futures during Biden was in the beginning hell. In the beginning, absolute hell. This was right. This was early Biden. Yeah. This was early Biden. Just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, like over and over and over. But you got to remember, he also had the COVID rally because he got 2020. So during he got in at basically the beginning of COVID, straight down, all the way back up. And then you got a year of chop. But it wasn't as much news related, I'd say. During 2020, it was very heavily news related, but it was the news during that was the overall market. And the news during Trump is the overall what he wants to tweet and like the global economy aspect. I was heavy in Dogecoin in 2020. So was I. But I think I made like 200% on it and closed out. I didn't bag held remotely what I should have. Yeah, trade. I'm hopping off. So you got here right back at the end. JG, I'll answer that, and then that'll be the last one. Yeah, a lot of people didn't trade futures during the beginning of Biden because prop firms weren't as big. There was some, but not a whole lot. Appreciate you being here, brother. especially staying later. Eventually, my brain will fully clear up, but lately, after just cold turkey and nicotine, it still tweaks a little bit. But we're getting there. Times get easier. Microsoft, we're just going to watch the lower end of this range. If it gets to continuation, one of the things I'm interested in watching is if the big tech that has been fueling this rally consolidates, we can see an opportunity where these names try to play that game of catch up, and it would likely just rotate out of the overall, like within the stock market. You see the continuous rotations, which can lead Microsoft. Problem is, if the market pulls back at all, Microsoft could be cooked. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. I don't think Microsoft's going anywhere, so it's going to be a decent potential buy on it, no matter what. If you believe the name's going to stay, it could be a nice long opportunity. It's just if and when the move's going to happen. I can see the move happening easily. I can see it's going back to 470s without a question. It's the next big weekly resistance. It's just when. It's definitely a name I'm stalking, looking for a move. And like I said, it's just when. But there's a few names out there that are like that I'm interested in. Hell yeah, Joe. Love that. Not normally in this hour. How much longer does this session go? ZP, full honest truth. This session is supposed to end an hour ago. But I got a problem with streaming longer. Technically, I'm supposed to be 9 a.m. to, or 7 p.m. to 9 a.m. Sorry, I read Pram's comment and got all jacked up. 7 to 9, and then I go to 10. Sometimes I go to 11. Haven't gone past 11 yet, luckily. At least I don't think I have. I think 4 hours was the max. But yeah, usually there's a lot more to go on with the markets. There's no one behind me, so I don't have to worry about closing out. Market doesn't close. It's open. I'm here usually shooting the shit, so. I took one very small YM trade, risking like 150 points, lost 150 points, or $150, lost $150. And then we just got volatile. And it was just a slower volatility. So I'm interested in the YM picking up some momentum. If it does, I'll trade it later on. I don't think I'm interested right now. So I'm probably just going to end it. So I think we're going to end there, ride with that. I'll be back tomorrow. Alan is on at 1 a.m. Eastern. Any updates on NQ longs? Not interested. I'm not. We just sold off 200 points. Could it work? Yeah. Could. It's just a lot of could right now. And that's my problem, Alex. This hourly chart that closes in 1 minute, put it this way. And I'm going to leave with this. You have two options here. You either completely ignore this hourly candle and look at us holding this support. If it holds, maybe you're interested in that. For me, though, if this is a 5-minute chart and I see this hourly candle close like this, which this closes in 1 minute, that looks like shit. I would want at least like a consolidation candle to play off of, maybe sweep the lows. That tells me I'm not interested for another hour on this chart, and I'm just not going to be there, I think there could there be a move? Yes. Is there a trade I'm personally interested in? Not really. I think I'd be more interested in the YM relative strength as it's already back near the open. NQ's down near yesterday's lows. So I think that's where my interest would go towards, is the YM. Gold long, maybe. This is it. Then we're getting off. Not interested in gold. Not even a little bit. Right. This is why I would want to spike lower. This is the 4-hour candle. Could it hold? Yes. But for me, based off how I trade, no. Also, you got to remember, I don't trade gold a lot. If gold just randomly reverses those candles, so be it. But for me, that is just not worth it. But all right, now that's it. No more. I'm going to call it a night. I'll talk to y'all later. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Alan's back on at 1 a.m. Eastern tonight. Jake is on in the morning, 8:30 sharp. Then back to the normal schedule. I don't think Christian's back yet, so Jake might be on again tomorrow afternoon. So you might get double Jake again. With that, though, y'all have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.